Okay. Good morning, everyone. The August 16th, 2023 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2. You may also watch this meeting live on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV on the Go Vegas app. The City Council meeting, as well as all other KCLV program, may be viewed on the internet at www.kclv.tv/live. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2, on the web, the Wednesday of the meeting, 8 p.m., Friday, 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 5 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler systems. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exit at the back of our chambers, go out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double door to the terrace, and go down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with a marshal or fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Streets. Employees wearing safety vests or city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to items on the agenda, citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card. If I live through this, pardon me, I'm choking on my own self. Cards are available in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone's present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please come forward and see our city clerk staff. And note, if you parked in the parking garage across the street, a self-validation machine is located in the foyer between council chambers and the security desk you walk through to enter our chambers. You must have your ticket with you to use the machine. However, if you do not, please see our security personnel when exiting for a validation coupon. Before we proceed with our agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given by Pastor Brad Beckman, First Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, and remain standing for our pledge. Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, Mayor, City Council, and attendees. I always like to say that once a year I get down here for the invocation. You know, I live at the Jewel. I serve at First Good Shepherd, Maryland Parkway, in Bridger. I work out at 1313 CrossFit on East Charleston, pretty close to 100. So I just want to say thank you for all that you have done and continue to do for the downtown community. I'm a Texan, but I love Las Vegas. Proverbs 16, verse 9. In their hearts, people plan their course, but the Lord determines their steps. Let us pray. Father, thank you for another day that you have given to us. It says in Psalm 118, today is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Father, we ask for your divine grace and favor, undeserved as it is, upon our city, upon our state, our country, and upon the world that you have created. Forgive us when we get it wrong, when we don't get it right, our sins and our evil, but we thank you also for your many blessings, and we ask for your continued wisdom and courage, discernment, guidance, for your peace, strength, patience, and perseverance in all that we do. We pray that you would bless our leaders here today with that kind of wisdom. In Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people said, amen.
And we are coming down for our ceremonial. I'm loud, but I do better with this, so I don't have to scream. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. Well, our Employee of the Month, we have postponed this month, and so looking out at this wonderful audience, lucky you, Councilwoman Seaman, I know what you're about to do, so I certainly am excited.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know my love for our law enforcement. So today I'm going to recognize and celebrate the incredible contributions of women in Metro. So I would like to bring up Assistant Sheriff Sasha Larkin, Captain Michelle Tavares, Captain Nita Schmidt, Rachel Skidmore, Director of Community Engagement, Sergeant Stephanie Ward, and retired Deputy Chief Kathy O'Connor, and Executive Assistant Cynthia Tawanyu. So excited. Oh, we can, yeah. So it is an honor and a privilege to acknowledge the tireless efforts and impactful service these dedicated women have provided to our community. The Women of Metro, a group within the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, displayed unwavering commitment, I think I got your frog, Madam Mayor, courage and compassion in their pursuit of public safety and community empowerment. Through their countless volunteer hours, thank you, they have selflessly given their time and expertise to ensure the safety and well-being of our citizens. These exceptional women have supported law enforcement in their vital roles and work tirelessly to enhance community relationships and build bridges of trust within our diverse city. Today, we express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to the women of Metro for their exceptional service and dedication. Their hard work and selflessness have not gone unnoticed. Our community is all the better because of all of you. Your commitment to creating a safer and more inclusive Las Vegas deserves our highest praise and recognition. I congratulate these incredible women of Metro for their outstanding achievements and extend our gratitude for their continued service to our city. Let this be a reminder that when women come together with determination and a shared vision, true and lasting change happens. So I'm going to first present them with a proclamation and then some awards for their service. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So, this is for all of you. Whereas the Mayor and City Council of Las Vegas recognize the invaluable contributions made by the women of Metro to the community, and whereas the women of Metro dedicate their lives to upholding the highest standards of safety, justice, and compassion in our city, and whereas these courageous and committed women inspire others and serve as a role model to all residents, especially young girls who aspire to contribute positively to our community, and whereas the women of Metro exhibit exceptional professionalism, integrity, and bravery in the face of adversity, and work tirelessly to ensure the safety and well-being of our citizens, and whereas their selfless efforts and devotion improve the quality of life for all Las Vegas residents on a daily basis, and whereas the women of Metro consistently go above and beyond the call of duty, not only in their professional roles, but also in their outreach and community service endeavors, positively impacting the lives of those around them. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and the Las Vegas City Council declare August 16, 2023 as Women of Metro Day. So thank you all. I'd like to pass out some awards, but do you want to say a few words before we do that?
You would like me to.
I would love you to.
Thank you. Really, it's about the young women like Reagan and Rumi coming up behind us, right? It's not about us, and it's because of people like you ladies that have inspired us and paved the way, so thank you. And we would not be here, any of us, without retired Deputy Chief Kathy O'Connor. She created the Women of Metro in 2008, and she grabbed us by the scruff of our neck and said, you guys are stronger together. We have to mentor one another so we can rise and break those glass ceilings, and we have to show the community that Metro is made up of the community we serve. And this board that you see here is civilian and commissioned. We're police officers, corrections officers. We cover the whole gamut because we want to inspire the next generation to know they can do whatever they want. And a few years ago, I was having lunch with former Mayor Jan Jones, and she said, you have to jump on the 30 by 30 initiative. You have to show the community that women matter in positions. And so because of that, we got on 30 by 30 about 6 months ago, and we're a little behind, but we are moving ferociously forward. And we're really excited, and it's because of Mayor Goodman and you and this amazing city council that we're allowed to have such a wonderful opportunity in this amazing city. So Mayor, thank you for everything you do for the LVMPD. Thank you so much for taking the time to recognize us. And this board, you're doing it. You're doing it in all of your positions and across the community. So thank you for being so strong and inspiring.
Are you going to call each one by name? So
Yes,
we know
yes,
who we're
and then
talking
we'll give the awards. So let's start with the first award. We have flowers for all you beautiful ladies as well. This is for you, Sasha Larkin. It is recognizing you for all your work on this board. So this is for you.
Thank you.
This is Sergeant Ward.
Sergeant Ward, this is for you. Thank you for all your hard work. Kathy O'Connor, thank you. These are heavy. And Cynthia, thank you so much for all you do. And we have Rachel Skidmore. Thank you. Captain Tavares. And we have Captain Nita Schmidt. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your hard work. And let us give you some flowers before you go as well. And I just want to recognize that your daughters are out there. Wave to everyone. You got an incredible mom, but you already know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a picture. Yeah, you can put your awards down, and then we can have one of you hold the proclamation. And let's come above here. Oh, not that we need to move it. We'll just climb up here.
Yes.
Hey, you want me to hold it up, Sasha? Think behind you. You want to hold it there? Oh, you can hold it. You hold it. She's balancing it out. Yeah. All right.
Put the women in the front. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So proud of you.
Grab my hood.
Yeah. Don't forget your stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, behind you.
Thank you. And it's not even Valentine's Day. Victoria, that's so kind of
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We had the slideshow going in the background. I didn't even notice. Oh, those are Sasha's. Yeah, let's just.
I love that. park gauge. I know. My name is 26 and I still clearly remember the water pump trains, right? I mean, it's like,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Bye.
I don't know if you want to say we're going to continue at 9:30.
Okay, you have a few minutes break because I've been told that we will be starting promptly at 9:30. So you do have a few moments. How many moments? Good morning, everyone. Back again. Just want you to know we're on agenda item 7, but of course I want to take a moment to send our heartfelt prayers to everyone in Lahaina, Maui. I know we've sent 12 of our fire and rescue off to help and be part of the effort to recovery and repair in Maui. And it is a tragic time for everyone who's part of our family that has Hawaiian family, Hawaiian connections, and all of our Hawaiian residents here. We're just really heartbroken with you, and what a tragic, tragic time. So know that we're praying and wish everyone whatever help we can give. And again, I know we have sent over a fire and rescue support team, and so many of our families are devastated. So our prayers. Okay, we are on to our first public comment. During this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name for the record. It's your opportunity to address council, but council will not be able to respond or engage in dialogue. We'll set the time at 1 minute. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor Goodman and Council, Lisa Mayo. I have a question on item 25. On the agenda, it says discussion/action. Can we speak publicly on item 25? Will it be an opportunity, or should we do that now during this public comment?
No, I'll take that opportunity for public comment.
When we get to the item?
If you have other times, you can make your comment now.
Nope, I'm just happy to be here.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 8. Business items for possible action. Any items from the 9:30 session to the council staff and/or applicant wish to be stricken, tabled, withdrawn, or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. And so, Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor, I have one item on the list from staff, which is item number 29, to appoint a member of the community to serve on the Clark County School District Board of Trustees. As required by AB 175, staff has requested an abeyance until October 4th of 2023.
Thank you. Is there a motion then to do that, please?
I would move to approve that.
Thank you very much. Is motion please approve? Or please vote, I should say. I shouldn't say approve. Thank you very much. We'll move on to agenda item 9 for possible action to approve the final minutes by reference to the July 19th, 2023 regular City Council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam Mayor, move to approve the minutes of July 19th, 2023.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve the minutes. Please vote and please post. The motion carries. Items number 10 through 24 on the consent agenda, considered to be routine, recommended for approval by the departments, may be enacted in one motion. And note the record should reflect my abstention on item 14 because it pertains to the marijuana-related businesses. One of my sons involved in that industry. I'll be voting on all other items. And Councilwoman Seaman, I have been told you would like to have item 10 pulled to be heard after consent. Thank you. Are there any other items council wants to bring forward? Okay, Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion on the consent agendas 11 through 24?
Madam Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda items 11 through 24 with the noted abstention by you.
Thank you very much. Please vote and please post. Motion carries. Agenda item 10 for possible action to approve a master services agreement with the City of Las Vegas and the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life regarding an annual operating grant to be used for performance of administrative, accounting, and other financial activities of the Mayor's Fund not to exceed $523,000 annual. Total contract not to exceed $2,615,000. Various funds, all awards. Let's hear from, good morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mayor Goodman, members of City Council. Mike Jensen, Acting City Manager today. With me today I have Sally Dobler, and I'm so excited to introduce Sally today.
Thank you.
Sally is our new Chief Executive Officer for the Mayor's Fund, and I will tell you that today is a reason to celebrate for so many different reasons. First off is so many people have worked so hard over the last 6 years to bring the Mayor's Fund to where we are today, which is on the cusp, I believe, of greatness. And that greatness is really starting with the selection of Sally as our new CEO. So what I want to do today is just highlight a couple elements of the Mayor's Fund and the purpose of the agreement today, and then also address a few items that we had in great conversations with many of our council members, and answer any questions you might have from there. So moving on to the first slide, again, I wanted to take a moment just to recognize Sally. Sally started her first day as Chief Executive Officer was Monday, and it's been great getting to know Sally. She's been working through the process, and before I go on to our board of directors, I want to also recognize our interim CEO, Carolyn Sioka, who we brought on to be the interim CEO. Caroline is not able to be here today, but I will tell you she's been as dedicated as they come to working to bringing the Mayor's Fund to this greatness that we are at today. And greatness really doesn't happen without a lot of committed people. As you know, so many things that we do at the city, it's the commitment that makes things happen. It's the commitment that really makes things we can be proud of. And for us, it's our board of directors. And for those of you that don't know our board of directors, our chair is Yvette Fernandez. She's make sure I want to get her title right. She's the Vice President of Government Affairs for Endeavor. And Endeavor does so many things in our community, so I have to note Endeavor is the parent company of UFC, of IMG, of Professional Bull Riders, and Miss Universe, and there's actually many other things that Yvette does, but she is truly the energy as the chair of our board. Next up is our secretary of the board, John Bosco, with the Nevada Community Foundation. Dr. Roy Whitmore, he's the chair for University of Phoenix College of Business and IT. Someone that we've all worked with on many, many projects over the years. He's a great downtown guy that I've gotten to know over the years, John Tippins. He's the CFO with North Cap. And then we have a vacancy, and I have to acknowledge that vacancy is from our recently retired Dr. Lisa Morris-Hibbler and her dedication to the Mayor's Fund for all the years that the program has been in place. And so with that overview of our new CEO and our board of directors, I want to give you a few pieces of information, kind of background on the Mayor's Fund. So I mentioned 6 years ago, it was launched in 2018, and really was launched to provide a vehicle for corporate and philanthropic partners to support programs that improve the quality of life for all Las Vegas residents. Pretty self-explanatory on that statement. It's where public, private, and nonprofit sectors come together to meet some of our city's most challenging needs. It supports programs that truly align with our strategic priorities. The focus areas, there's been many areas that we've worked on in the 6 years, but the ones that kind of rise to the top have been on livability, something so important to our community, always interest on the innovation side, and certainly education. Since inception, I think this is an important piece of information for everyone to know as well. Since inception, it's received $4.9 million in cash donations. Remarkably, I think this is what's really remarkable, is this has been accomplished without the presence of a seasoned business development leader like Sally is. And those of you who've been in our community for a while know Sally's roots and all of the things she's done for our community over the years. And I think that success that we've had so far is just the tip of the iceberg in what Sally's going to be able to bring. And so, as I noted here, the potential for the Mayor's Fund, I think the growth of the Mayor's Fund, I think it shows no bounds. The next slide I wanted to kind of walk through is just a little bit about the journey we've on, because it's, these programs like a Mayor's Fund have to start somewhere, and I know working closely with Mayor Goodman, some of the bones of the Mayor's Fund came out of the U.S. Conference of Mayors and learning with a lot of our peer cities, a lot of the bigger cities across the country have used something like this. And that's really kind of how it started. It started small, and you'll see after 6 years of operating under the current structure and a lot of consideration of ways that we can move forward, staff determined that establishing the Mayor's Fund as a separate entity is the optimal solution. And to go with that, just a few months ago, we received tax designation from the IRS. That was in June. That's enabling us to add the piece that was missing, a tax beneficial methodology for donations from individuals, from foundations, from corporations. That transition is also going to ensure that all of the city staff who've worked on this prior and who may work going forward with Sally, with our board, with all of our partners, make sure we're going to be in compliance with all the legal restrictions that come with any type of fundraising, a really important part of the overall evolution of the Mayor's Fund. I want to put together some information here to address some of the things we talked about during council briefings, trying to make sure we fully understood how the budget works for the project, since we've had 6 years starting small and growing. And what we have today that I'm introducing as part of this presentation, working with our city attorney, is a minor amendment to one of the sections of the agreement that's in front of you. And really, it's just addressing the fact that we are entering into a 3-year agreement with a provision for 2 one-year renewals. And then also the funding levels that are going to be allocated during those first 3 years. You'll see year 1 is 523. That's a budget that was adopted by council. It was a budget that was adopted by council in fiscal year 23. We're carrying it forward in fiscal year 24. And as I mentioned earlier, Caroline has been such a huge help in developing as interim CEO. She's been a huge help, and she's going to continue working with Sally throughout this first year of Sally's tenure as CEO. But at the end of this first year, Caroline will be completed. And so what you'll see there is there's a budget adjustment that's just a reflection of Caroline's role will have been completed. And you'll see in year 2, year 3, and those optional years 4 and 5, that a budget adjustment will go down to that 466. So I wanted to make sure that those discussions that we had to make sure we fully understand how the budgeting for the Mayor's Fund works. I wanted to introduce that into today's discussion. I wanted to end the discussion that I had on my slides with some other conversations that we had specifically related to board members. Our bylaws, we have bylaws, I believe there are 20 plus pages of bylaws, trying to make sure we got everything right. And some of the discussion we had concerned how our board members added, for example, when there's a vacancy, or our bylaws actually have room to grow. They have room to grow where ultimately you can have as many as 15 board members. And so we work closely with hearing the feedback related to that, and I think the commitment we made is to ensure that the city's abilities to have a role in appointing those board members, bringing those recommended board members to Sally, that ability is there, and that was some of the things that we talked about. And so the commitment was we would be looking at the bylaws. Today, the bylaws show that 65% of the board members are appointed through the city and 45% from the Nevada Community Foundation. And there's a commitment, Councilman Bruni, I know we talked about it, to specifically address that ratio. And that'll be a commitment that we have, working with Sally, working with the board, to bring that amendment of the bylaw back to make sure we get it right. And then Councilwoman Seaman, I know we talked in your office about some of the other particulars related to that. And as I clarified to your team, the mayor, the city manager, and Sally, we all work together to bring those, find those board members that we think are going to be a really great add. And of course, the commitment that I have as city manager is to work with all of you to make sure when it comes time for something important like a board member that we have that dialogue and make sure we get it right. So I wanted to make sure I captured some of the things that I heard. And then with that, Sally and I are here to answer any other questions you might have.
Well, and Sally, I think it would be wonderful. We're thrilled that you're on. This is a project that, as you've been mentioning, is 6 years old. It came from this nucleus little seed, so all the things you've addressed here, newly as city manager, but going back further, than that time. Everything's a work in progress. So those bylaws, every piece of this has been a work in progress. It is not a long-standing, it may be in other cities that have seen the great benefit of establishing a mayor's fund to permit the private sector to participate in areas where we don't have public dollars and to enhance so much. But it is amazing to me that even as we are creating a board and we have finally a CEO, we have been operative these 6 years with in and out and changes and not being able to devote enough time because we as the city, as a public entity, we are not allowed to fundraise. So this has given us that opportunity, but we are this big now, and hopefully you're going to take us up to a huge and positive entity here that I can see the future of it. And as I met mayors where this exists, wow, what a difference it has made in their cities. So would you just share a little bit of your background?
And thank you, Mayor and Council. And number one, I can't tell you how honored I am to really be in this position to begin with. And even from the moment I step in here on Monday, this is my third day, the moment I step in here on Monday, the staff, even from the security staff in the lobby, support staff, departments, leadership, they have been so welcoming, and I already feel like I'm part of the family with this, and so collaborative. And it's really clear to me that everybody wants this fund to be successful. Because what we're doing is really giving benefit to the citizens of the city of Las Vegas. Many of you know my background, but I spent 7 years at the Chamber, the Vegas Chamber, doing corporate partnerships. Before that, in Las Vegas, I've been here about 30 years. I was doing business development in commercial real estate and was really involved with NAOP. All that work was really done to support business and the business community. This is my opportunity to really be able to give back to the residents, and that's what I am so excited about. And I think the opportunity now, and I want to make sure I also give kudos to Caroline, because her mentorship and her partnership in helping me have been extraordinary, and I'm really looking forward to being able to work with her for the rest of her agreement with the city. Even the conversations I've had in the last couple of days with some significant private stakeholders, now that we have the ability to change their funding vehicle, they're really excited. There's things that they have been wanting to do and couldn't do, and now they can use different vehicles for funding. They're excited to be able to work with it as a nonprofit. So, the whole concept of this fund is a collaboration with private and with public. And now that we're able to really join all the forces, I think the significance of what we're going to be able to accomplish, this is a startup. And I feel so honored that I'm going to have the ability to be able to work with all of you, work with the community, and really build something that really shows that Las Vegas is a global city, and it's the place for people to live and work. So I want to thank everybody for all their support, and I'm excited to be working with you.
Thank you and welcome again. And Councilman Creer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Welcome.
Thank you.
We all know you. We've spent so much time with you. It seems like you've been working with us because we've collaborated on so many things over the years with you. It seems like you've already worked with the city in conjunction with us. So welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us.
Thank you.
We're blessed. Look, I'm a big fan of the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life. I think that the avenues that allows businesses, organizations to donate, to designate, to support the work that we're doing here in our community is vitally important. I say to people all the time, we want and we need your help. And we cannot do this alone. If people think that the government is the solution to all the problems and there's an endless supply of resources and money and dollars that go towards these initiatives, then they're really fooling themselves, because we cannot do it alone. And the city of Las Vegas is very limited in the resources that it has to address the issues that we have. We don't have the ability to raise taxes. We don't have the ability to solicit dollars from individuals. But through this medium, we're able to go out and do that. And you, with a dedication dedicated focus, with your history within the community, knowing the key players in the industry, I think is going to be invaluable. You know, in my short time of being on council, I mean, just the small amount of work that we've been doing, small amount, but we've made, I joke that we've been moving at government lightning speed. You know, if you look at the work that we've been doing at our Courtyard Homeless Resources Center, and the support that we've gotten for that. If you look at all the work that we've done in historic West Side with MGM Resorts, giving us $500,000 via the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life for Urban Farm. If you look at the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation and Icy Hot, the $250,000 that they've given us through the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life in order to rehabilitate Doolittle's basketball courts and to get us on the path for that. If you look at all the work that Howard Hughes has done with us, with arts, as well as with the free laptops we gave out in conjunction with Icy Hot, $100,000. Cox Innovation Center that we've got now at the Strong Future Technology Center, which is located right at the West Side School in the historic West Side. We wouldn't have that avenue for them to donate to support that if we didn't have it. The Golden Knights we're working with to get our roller hockey rink up and running over at Lorenzi is a part of that. And so without the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life, there wouldn't really be a vehicle for them to give those needed resources. I mean, that's over almost $1 million worth of donations that have come into the Mayor's Fund for Life that are supporting the work that we're doing every single day and ultimately bettering our community. So I'm a big fan of it. I think the investment that we're making is a long-term investment, and I like the fact that we're sort of going to wean off of it over the course of the years. We'll have a conversation, I believe, in the next 5 to 10 years about where we started with the Mayor's Fund for Las Vegas Life, and this will be like a blip on the system. It won't even be a part of the conversation because the ability to raise dollars and the ability to do so much more than what it's doing now is endless. And our initial investment now, I think, is very small compared to what we're going to get in the future. So I'm a big fan of it and look forward to working with you.
Thank you. And Mayor, may I address Councilman Creer's comments? And what the fund has done with really no professional fundraisers has been extraordinary. And in large part, it's the consultants. They've been very passionate about this fund, and they've been a big part of its current success. There's going to be some rebranding, and there's going to be some education as people really understand this new structure and really understand what the Mayor's Fund is all about. I've been in business development almost my entire life. There's always going to be a ramp up. There's going to be some lead time as we start to expand out, getting into corporations' budgets and all those things, and just the education process. So what we appreciate about this request in front of you is the fact that this allows us to spend our time doing that work and being mission-based so that we can come back in 3 years and say, look what we've done, with the collaboration with all of us. And that's what I am most excited about, what that opportunity is and what that support that enables us to do that. So thank you, Councilman.
Thank you so much, and I know it's the way we get calls all the time. How can we help? I'm celebrating my mother's 50th birthday. Can we make a contribution? Absolutely, here's the vehicle. Or we're very anxious about sports. What can we contribute to? This is the vehicle. So it's something that's out there, and hopefully this seedling is just, and especially with you taking charge now, it's fabulous. And thank you, Mr. Jansen. Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and welcome aboard, Sally. We're really excited to have you at the helm of these efforts. I think that the Mayor's Fund is so new, 6 years old is not a long time, that not a lot of people know about it, and I think that they need to be educated on its intent to not just be something that helps the mayor, but really to help the entire city and all of its wards. All 6 wards are on our wish list of, we all have projects and we all have challenges and we all have things that we need to materialize and bring more funds to be able to get the positive results on behalf of our constituents. One thing I did want to state is, increasingly, there are things that are happening at the state level. The state is vetting a lot of economic development, investment, and opportunities, and increasingly, what I've noticed the trend is that they are setting up and structuring community benefits agreements in a lot of these deals, and I think that making sure that we have a clear vision and a clear mission and have everything set up to give people that level of comfort and confidence that if they give us the money, we're going to make sure that it's going towards education, workforce initiatives, and innovation in our community is going to go a long way in being an attractive place for someone to say, oh, this is a nonprofit org or arm of the city, and we're going to be able to place the money towards X end there. And I feel like there may be some opportunities, maybe some special sessions are looming, or maybe the next session more things are going to come through, but I really feel that this will enhance our own footing and opportunities to attract some of this community benefit agreement funding towards our residents and constituents. So I'm really excited about that future opportunity.
And just for our general public, since you're listening, and sometimes we repeat every multiple times during the week, the reason it's the mayor's fund is the mayor is the only part of the body up here that's elected at large. And doing the research with other cities, it is totally what Councilwoman Diaz has suggested, very area specific, so that the contributions are spread totally around for everyone, but through a body whose job it is to make prioritization and to delve in and have the meetings so we know the money is well spent and we can report back to the donor. This is where your money's been spent. Here's the data to respond back to you that you gave the money, and we know where it is, and we can follow it up. So it is new, and so many, of course, we have new council members as well. So we have many things that are already in the works, and it's just as Councilwoman Diaz suggested, it's getting the word out. But the printed word is that it's a pretty comprehensive area, and it's so exciting. And so as we move forward over the next 10, 15, 20 years, hopefully it'll do nothing but grow and get stronger. Mayor Pro Tem, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate the time to meet with you yesterday, Ms. Dobler. And
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I think from the very beginning of when I started working at the city, we've talked about Las Vegas as a world-class city. I think if you look at other world-class cities, this mirrors what you see. And so grateful for the vision to think through how Las Vegas can be in that caliber of great cities. And then I wanted to kind of just reiterate our conversation and echo what Councilwoman Diaz said, is the city itself is a vast array and a very diverse community, and the opportunity for each of us as a body, or representatives of our wards and as a body as a whole, to participate and work with you in making sure that the Mayor's Fund is successful and making sure that those dollars are invested in the way that your biggest donors, which we would be probably one of the biggest donors, and so we'd want an opportunity to participate in the way that's appropriate and learn about how we can be better stewards of the community and as a great donor for the Mayor's Fund. So I appreciate the opportunity and look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And in Ward 1, as we know, is our wonderful medical district. And while he's talking and I'm listening, I'm seeing all the equipment, the technology, everything that we so desperately need, transportation. There's so many things. It's just this open carte blanche that is so fabulous. I'm so excited for you, almost to the point that I'd rather be you than me. Oh, please. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for spending time in my office and answering all the questions about your vision and your commitment and your dedication to coming back and showing us the outcomes. I want to thank our city manager for getting back to me so promptly with all the questions that I had, and after all the research, I'm really looking forward to what you're going to bring to this Mayor's Fund. So welcome, and I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Anybody else? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
Bernie.
So welcome aboard. Look forward to working with you. And I'll say I'm a really big fan of the separation, the formal separation, and standing this up as a 501c3. So looking forward to working with that. And I think one potential benefit too is, as we heard in the briefing, so many times we need matching funds when we apply for grants, and we rank 45th in the country in federal grants per capita. So having a formal 501c3 will allow us to leverage more federal grant funds, hopefully, because I believe this can be a vehicle for providing those matching funds. So I'm looking forward to working with you and seeing how we can build the donor base so that we can be more successful applying for these grants, which will help our region and our state.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Okay, yeah, wonderful, yes.
Thank you,
Please,
Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Flensky.
Ms. Dobler, I think that your success is our success, and I'm confident together we will be successful. I want to make sure you always know that you have an open door to any of us to use us as resources, as a sounding board, anything you need to help achieve those great expectations that we all have. As we continue to have dialogue, I expect in this year 3 to have phenomenal numbers. This is fledgling, as the mayor has said before in briefings. It's kind of like a butterfly. We're in the stage, I guess, right after the cocoon, and you are seen as our metamorphosis into a butterfly. So it's a privilege to have that pressure, and we thank you for your service. Again, anything that we can do collaboratively to help ensure your success, we are all here for you.
Wonderful. I wanted to send a donation in for monarch butterflies now. Anyway, thank you. And I'm going to ask Councilwoman Seaman, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve.
Sorry, Jeff Dorkak,
With the
City Attorney, for the record. Councilwoman, can you add to that motion the changes that Mike Jansen read into the record with respect to the finances over the 5 years and the 2-year options? We didn't post with those, so we need to make those, just characterize them as the changes from the city manager.
I move to approve with the amendment that the city manager has read into the record. And how will that do, city? Okay, move to approve with changes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sally. We're so excited. Wonderful. That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Jansen, thank you so much for sharing information and welcome it. Okay, so we are on to item 25 now? Okay. Discussion for possible action regarding an authorization for the city manager designee to develop and execute agreement with the Las Vegas Super Bowl Host Committee, Inc., to support economic development activities related to the 2024 Super Bowl, not to exceed $290,000, general fund, all wards. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor and members of council. Ryan Smith, Director of Economic and Urban Development, for the record. I just want to confirm with City Attorney that there is a correction on this item, and is that to be made at the end?
Jeff Dorkak, City Attorney, for the record. Yeah, Ryan and the EUD team have been working hard to track down what the entity's name is that we may be awarding or granting this money to. So for the record, and when the motion is made, it would be to the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance, LVGEA, and we'll need that added to the motion, and we're also stating it now for correction with respect to the agenda item so that the public is aware. Thank you.
And also, before you begin, because we've had an appeal already for public comment, I am going to open this up with the permission of our legal. I don't move without legal. To have it a public comment.
Yeah, if you want to take comment now or wait till after Mr. Smith does his presentation, up to you.
I would like to wait for public comment till after our council has been given a chance to speak as well. Then that will be it. But do it in order, so we will be having opportunity for public comment at the end of this particular presentation. Thank you. Good morning.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Again, Ryan Smith, Director of Economic and Urban Development, for the record. I did want to mention a few people I'm joined with today. We have Ms. Jan Jones-Blackhurst, as well as Ms. Tina Quigley and Mr. Chris Sanchez, representing some key stakeholders from this initiative. I wanted to get started today by giving some details on this item and highlighting really 3 major themes. One, why we're doing it, how we're going to do it, and then what's going to happen after. So really, I'll start with the why. The idea was birthed around the notion that we should be programming major events coming into Las Vegas for economic development in totality as a region. During the year, we have millions of people coming into Las Vegas for some type of show or event, and how do we take advantage of these events to showcase Las Vegas outside of the Las Vegas Strip? It just so happens that this year we have something called the Super Bowl, which I know you all are aware of because I saw a viral video of many of you in football pads, I think. And again, this is really an initiative that will create economic diversification opportunities for all of Southern Nevada. So then we move to the how. How is this going to happen? Well, there was a group that was originally called the Super Bowl Combine Committee that was led by Ryan Irwin to put this together. They ultimately changed their name to Locate because it's more than just the Super Bowl, it's about major events. The framework was mirrored off what the city of Phoenix does every year around major sporting events. They started in 2015 with the Super Bowl and have done this almost every year, whether it be for the Waste Management Open Golf Tournament or other major events. They had the Super Bowl last year. The goal of this is to invite up to 30 companies to do a curated series of events around the Super Bowl, culminating with the game on Sunday. With that in mind, they needed to go out and try to get the funds to allow them to do this programming. The ask was to raise $2.25 million for the event. $1 million would be from the local governments and jurisdictions, and the rest of the contributions, $1.25 million, would come from private donations or private sponsorships. The proportions that each municipality needed to put up were based upon population per capita. That left $440,000 for the county, which was an item they had on their agenda yesterday. It was $120K from the city of North Las Vegas, which was approved in July. It was $150K asked from the city of Henderson, which has still not heard any item on this topic. And then the last is $290,000 from us, again, on a per capita basis. I do want to put it on the record that none of this public money allocated to this event would go towards any game day events, nothing that is actually associated with the actual Super Bowl game. So I thought it was important to put that on the record. I also wanted to put on the record that the committee has committed to allowing the jurisdictions that are giving money into this event, this program, a voting seat on how the events will be programmed and also how the money is going to be expended. And kind of just the framework on the money, this money would go essentially to the LVGA, which would be then moved into a special fund just for major events, and any expenditure over $25,000 would have to be approved not only by the Locate, now it's called Locate Committee, but also the LVGA Finance Committee. So they would both have to be agreed upon. If there were a deadlock for some reason in that, it would go to the LVGA Board of 50, which we do have memberships from you, Mayor Goodman, as well as our city manager, current city manager, Jorge Cervantes. So all the programming that's associated with the events around this, again, will be led by this committee, which will have representation on, and then the economic development directors of each city are on an advisory committee, so I will personally have a say into which companies that we're targeting, which industries, what they look at, the presentations that are given to them about the information pertaining to why it's great to do business in Southern Nevada. It will also give the companies an opportunity to hear from some of the major stakeholders in Las Vegas already doing business here about the great things and their personal experiences with their companies about, again, doing business in Las Vegas. So that's how it will be done. Then what will happen after? I know a lot of you have asked about how we would define success.
I hate to interrupt you, but can you share how this number, the number, not per community, but how the total number was derived, and how do we know there won't be another ask and another ask? Is that, or is that not yet on the plate?
Well, Ryan Smith, for the record, I think what they were originally, again, a lot of this is mirrored off what the city of Phoenix did. They have a series of events that they were getting kind of some preliminary pricing on. I mean, it's going to be the goal of the body to spend as little as money possible to try to get this going, but to do it right. This was an initial wag on the budget to get things moving forward.
And so it could be, I mean, I want to know what we're all voting for. It is possible that they would come back for another staunch of this.
Yeah,
and
right.
maybe this can all be done. Good morning, and I'll let you make the presentation. I didn't want to.
Mayor Goodman, Jan Jones Blackhurst, for the record,
Hi.
we will not come back and ask for any more money.
Oh, okay.
This is a one-time allocation. This is an inaugural event where we're going to determine what's the return on investment. Does it really deliver what we believe it will? So I just wanted you to know that as he was.
Well, and that's very helpful, because in my mind was, as you plan your events, that they could grow and be better and you see something more. And so just to have that open-ended possibility.
For this inaugural event, we will not come back to any of the municipal partners and ask for any more money.
Thanks. Okay, please continue on, and then we'll hear from whatever. Or yes, please, Councilwoman Polanski.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ryan, something that you said spurred a question, and I don't want to interrupt, but you mentioned that Mr. Cervantes is on the committee right now. Yeah, I want to make sure.
Excuse me, Councilwoman, can you get closer to the mic? I'm missing hearing.
I just want to make sure that Mr. Cervantes, who is leaving us very soon, his place will be secured, and Mr. Jansen will continue in his stead.
Yeah.
Mayor, if I may, Mike Jensen, Acting City Manager. I've actually been working with Tina's team from LVGEA and working to get brought onto the board as a replacement for Jorge, and so that's in the works, and it'll be in place well before the Super Bowl.
And just to clarify for the record, too, as well, is that when I was referring to that particular topic, it was if there's a gridlock between the Locate Committee and the LVGA Finance Committee, it would then go to the LVGA board, which Mr. Jansen will then take over for Mr. Cervantes.
And just so that you know, being newer, the original seat was for a position. In fact, Councilman Mayor Pro Tem served for a period of time. We had one seat. And because of time constraints in business, I asked our city manager, would he share it with me? Because we wanted to make sure to have a presence always there, at which point, too, then we shared it also with Mr. Smith. He took on sometimes when neither of us could be there, but the most important thing was city representation and participation. And so I think this is all as part of that continuity, but it was in the initial stage, it was just one seat, but because of the amount of work and everything that goes on. So just so you know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll continue. So I was at the part where I was saying, then what? A lot of questions were, how are we going to define success? I think the easiest answer in economic development is to just talk about the number of jobs, the amount of capital investment, the new taxes generated from a win, essentially. But as many of you know, a lot of these wins do take a long time to come to fruition. These are multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar decisions that companies have to make. And so things at the very beginning, again, may be harder to quantify, although I will mention in some of the briefings, and we have Jeremy Aguero that's working with Phoenix to get information and really provide research around this topic. It was reported that Phoenix, when they hosted this event in 2015, they invited 60 companies to participate in the events in and around the Super Bowl, of which 20 of those expanded in Phoenix, creating 18,000 jobs. So that's a tangible output that Phoenix was able to achieve from their 2015 success. I'll say the other way that you can glean success is if we get serious interest from CEOs that are willing to take the time to explore the Las Vegas Valley outside of just one major event. These CEOs will be spending a lot of time learning about the community outside of the Strip, and a lot of those members even will go back and tell colleagues, friends. There's a lot of word of mouth that happens around, okay, we're starting to look at an expansion, we're starting to look at investment. Where do you guys think we should look? Where are you looking? And they typically go around industry trends. So this will help catalyze, again, a multiplier effect on the potential opportunities that could come back to the community. The last thing I will mention is that I do agree that Las Vegas as a region has not done a good enough job capitalizing on our events and conferences that we have here. And if this is successful in the way it's being done, the infrastructure that's put into place long term to do this more and more and over again, and then we can focus on a technology show, or we can do F1 or whatever we're seeing the largest success through these initiatives, we can then put fuel on that fire and potentially come back and really start programming those events, and we figure out what works and what doesn't work. And so one other thing I just wanted to make sure I put on the record too is the money that is being allocated to this from the $290,000 is for economic development purposes. That's what the money is designated for, and that's what this use will be. Again, one of the priorities for you as a council is economic diversification, and you know, these are a tough challenge that Southern Nevada faces in general. We've been working on this since 2011, since the Great Recession, really trying to take steps forward, slow steps forward into the diversification, and to get these targeted industries and the level and caliber of the individual coming to look at the community, I think will lead to economic diversification success. And again, with that, I have no more comments. I do have, again, the team over here to help me answer some questions if any pop up, and thank you for the consideration.
Wonderful. So would any members of the team like to come and speak? We would certainly welcome you, and then I'm going to ask for any comments from up here, and then we will allow the public to make comments.
Hi, Jan Jones. Good morning, Mayor. Jan Jones Blackhurst, for the record, JONES-BLACKHURST. I think all of you know how proud we are of Las Vegas. It is a spectacular city that I know that I, for one, am really proud to call home. And so it amazes me, and it has for decades, that businesses come here and then they choose to locate somewhere else. When I see the number of business we are losing to Texas, to Florida, it just astounds me. And one of the reasons I think we have been less successful than optimal is we tell a wonderful story about hospitality. We tell a wonderful story about why you should come to Las Vegas and play and party. But we don't tell as good a story in a coordinated way about what it's like to live and work here, what our neighborhoods are like, what our schools are like. We have a Carnegie-rated university. When I hear people say, well, I don't know if you have an educated workforce, I want to throw myself off the top of City Hall. Let me put you with the deans at the university and show you an entire pipeline. Let me put you in our schools, in our charter schools, and show you what Las Vegas has. Because I believe that's some of the reason we're losing these businesses. They think somehow they're going to be living in the Las Vegas Strip and not in our neighborhoods and our communities and the place where all of us call home. So we think that having these major events where people are coming in, not only can we target CEOs that we know are looking, but we can show them a different story. And not just the CEOs, their families who have a big voice in making that decision as well. And so that is the intent. We hope it's going to be an extraordinary success. And the team that's working on it is just as committed as all of the municipal partners. And what I like about this the most, I think, is for once, it's one regional voice. It's all of us saying the same thing, whether it's the city or the county or Henderson. It's about coming to Southern Nevada and helping us finally diversify the economic base in a meaningful way. So if we ever have another COVID, we don't see the entire community shut down. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. So if you, what I'd like to do with,
we're happy
if you're
for
able
questions.
to, is ask some questions, let them ask the questions that they have, and then to permit the public, to which I think we can handle public comment unless it's something that's specific that you probably should respond to. So, okay, let's start first. Councilwoman Seaman, I saw her finger, sorry, first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If you'll indulge me for a minute because I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I have some questions. So LVGEA is mostly funded by the state. So my question is, why is the state of Nevada unwilling to commit to a specific level of funding for this project?
I think the problem with GOED is, I think you saw in the last legislative session, GOED was given absolutely no resource for economic development. Why that was an outcome is to be determined, and LVGVA is donating money to this initiative, and the reason it's going to LVGVA, this initial tranche, is we've set up a 501c3, all the papers are filed, but as you know, after going with the Mayor's Fund, having final approval of that 501c3 could take 6-8 months. So we set up a fund through LVGVA, of totally segregated accounts, so we would have a place to safely put the money until our 501c3.
Excuse me, is it LVGEA or LVGVA? Which entity?
LVGVA, not the LVCVA.
No, LVGEA.
Yes.
Okay. And that money, so there's a separate entity that has been created, specifically nonprofit, 501c3?
Yes.
Okay, out of that. Okay.
We've filed for that. It would be, all the filings will be complete by the end of August, but we're just not sure it will be tax approved. So we've set up a separate fund through LVGVA because they have a 501c3 status.
Okay.
Where we can give the money
and
now.
The only question, if I may tag on your question, LVGEA is predominantly funded by contributions for all that they do.
Correct.
I mean, I know the budget because we've been giving since the beginning, and member groups, whether it's corporate, it's all corporate, but with large and small, whether they're giving $100,000 a year or $25,000 or whatever the denominations, those are contributions. That is the lion's share of their budget. So I just wanted to add that to your comment.
And Mayor, if I may.
So, go ahead.
Hi, Chris Sanchez, Deputy Director, Governor's Office of Economic Development. Thank you, Mayor, and Councilwoman for the question. So
wait,
one of the
you
things
want to turn your mic on and start
on.
all over.
Sorry. Christopher Sanchez, Deputy Director, Governor's Office of Economic Development. Thank you, Mayor. And with regard to the questions with state funding, so GOED makes a point to push as much funding as we can to the regional development authorities. We feel, as the boots on the ground, that they're the best ones that are able to deploy those funds in the region. One case in point would be that during the legislative session, with the support of the legislature and the governor, we had a one-shot of $700,000 for our RDAs, of which about 51% came to LVGEA. So we do not retain a lot of money in a marketing budget, if you will, at the state, because, as I mentioned, we feel that it's best to get those funds out into the regions.
Okay. I understand that 30 CEOs are targeted attendance for this event. Do we know who these 30 CEOs are?
It's up to 30 CEOs, Councilwoman, and right now we're looking at a prioritization. We have 8 companies that we think are high probability, and then we have, I think it's 22 others that we think there's a real opportunity to gain more traction by bringing them to the pre-events, showing them the community, showing them, actually showcasing governments, and that this is a wonderful place to do business because we have responsive government, and they're not going to get caught in the bureaucracy. So at this point, it's up to 30 businesses, and then as we move forward.
Couple more questions, Mayor. Can you explain why it takes $850,000 of taxpayer money to have events and a one-day tour for 30 CEOs? I mean, can you break it down?
It's not a one-day tour. It's actually up to...
Isn't it 3 days plus? That's the information that was given me. It was a one-day tour.
No, it's 3 days that we're planning a series of curated events, moving the CEOs, families, other event delegators, people that actually come in and pick where a company should look to relocate. So it'll be a group, and so as you're moving both people around transportation, hospitality. We'll have a totally delineated budget for you. Right now, we're just trying to make sure we have adequate resource, but as Ryan said, not one penny of the public money will be used for any event on game day.
All right, let somebody.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, please, Councilwoman Bruni. We're going to take from everybody, so if you will stay on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I just want to follow up on the CEOs and number, because I hadn't heard they were capped at 30 until the presentation. So can you walk us through sort of, is it 30 companies that you have confirmed are coming, or are you sort of cold calling companies around the country that may be looking to expand and inviting them to come? And why is it capped at 30?
Well, maybe I can take this one. Ryan Smith, for the record. So really, it's the Economic Development Directors Group with LVGA and the state, and then, to be honest, some private industry that have connections with some of these companies. There's groups, the way I like to look at it, there's groups of companies that we're targeting here, all align with industry sectors. And the reason in my presentation I made it known that we have that one, I'll be sitting on advising the types of companies and the industries we go after, and then two, actually having the vote to make sure those companies are targeted. There was conversations, and we exchanged some dialogue around, one, companies that the municipalities were already working with that were very close to a decision. So those are going to be some of the companies we really want to come out, that we want to invite out to try to get them to fully commit. There's going to be a group of companies that have interest in Las Vegas, have some type of interest, whether they have a consultant, whether they have, reached out to one of us at some point, that need to experience the community a little bit more before they make one of these decisions. And then there could be some companies that maybe larger catalytic companies that are more of, hey, this is going to take a while, but to really introduce them to our community. So we don't know exactly every single company that will be coming in, but we do have an idea of who we're targeting, communicating, who we're working with now, and then trying to build the whole pipeline. And to be honest, it's probably not completely capped at 30. That's a number. It's realistic to get these people around. How many can we actually have to do the different types of events with the budget that we have? So that was just number, but again, if we had the opportunity to have more, or there was a way we need to work a few more CEOs, and I'm sure that could happen.
And then just a couple of comments. I just wanted to thank you publicly, Ryan, because I know the council members have had lots of questions. You've been very responsive in working with the team to have our questions answered, so that we do feel as though we're making an investment that will have a return. And I also want to note, and you mentioned this just briefly, Jan, but as many of us know, we don't have a regional infrastructure here that really promotes collaboration. It's not easy. So I think one additional benefit that maybe is sort of intangible, in addition to jobs and things like that, is if we can get a regional framework in place, I think we could use that to have conversations about transportation. So it's an investment that is so critical and much needed, and I think that's just an additional benefit of setting this up and hopefully using it as a platform for other regional and conversations that are equally as important. So I'm really excited about that part of this initiative.
Thank you. Let's keep on going. Mayor Pro Tem, you go next, and we'll just pick up questions and come back.
I appreciate the presentation, and Mr. Smith, as always, thank you. Really good to see you again. And I just had a couple of requests. This is what I've been talking about in briefings, is I think as our voice in our contribution, I would really hope that we focus in on those industries that will be helpful for the people who live here. So I'm always going to be a champion for the healthcare industry. And I also think it has the greatest opportunity for economic diversification. The second request, and you knew that was coming, but the second request came from one of the meetings I did attend with the LVGEA. And we had an amazing presentation from Jeremy Aguero about the potential for sports medicine to come into our community, and how much money it would bring in, and how many doctors and nurses. And it was a 20-minute presentation about how amazing sports medicine could be. And the question that I asked was, will they come here? And the answer was, no, they won't. So that's my request, and I think this is a great investment of money, a little bit of risk associated with it, which I'm very comfortable with. But as we gather those CEOs, if they choose not to come here, I think it'd be great to catalog why they don't come here and then start to chip away at strategies to create an environment where those industries can flourish here. Whatever those reasons are, whether it be education or water or Medicaid, whatever those things are, I think it'd be great to catalog this at the end of it and then maybe report back to the municipalities on what's working well here for recruitment and what's not working well. And that's my request. Thank you.
That's a great idea.
Mayor
Excellent.
Goodman,
Good
through
points.
you to Councilman Knudsen. Tina Quigley from LVGEA for the record. And so it just is so fun to start having these conversations, to listen to your comments about healthcare. You're right, that's one of the things that we want to focus on as part of curating this list of CEOs, being very targeted. What industries do we know we need to be bringing here, and working with our municipality partners as well as other our stakeholders, curating that list. So the things that we do talk about are clean energy. We talk about healthcare. We also talk about creative industry as it relates to the sports and entertainment genre, because those are kind of low-hanging fruit. That's a natural expansion for who we are and what we're going after. And the reason, I don't want to take up a lot of time, I'd love to come back if you guys ever wanted to invite me to share with you these conversations that we do have with our board, to talk about the fact that if we want to go after those higher wage, higher skill jobs, we're going to have to be super intentional about it. They are not just going to show up here. Low skill, low wage jobs, moving out of California all day long. But for us to attract and court and pressure other companies and help them to see why they need to move here, this is a competitive sport. So it is really exciting to feel this energy, this regional energy, as we're moving on.
Well, and to that, from its founding, the LVGEA, which used to be the Nevada
NDA,
Development, NDA,
yeah.
that was its purpose in the creation of LVGEA, to be doing exactly what you've just said, that this is what this continues to be about. So it's very purposeful and very focused on that main mission, which I certainly understand and believe in.
And you've been an advocate the whole time for healthcare. Every time Mayor comes to one of our board meetings, it's healthcare.
But you do, I mean, that's what this smaller group effort now is continuing on the larger effort. So yes, please, Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you to a former mayor. Welcome back home to the city of Vegas. Always
Lovely
good to
to be
see
here.
you. And then also, Ms. Quigley, thank you for being at the helm of LVGEA. As a former assemblywoman during the recession, we've been talking ad nauseum since 2007, 2008 about the need to diversify our economy and why it matters and why it's important. We felt the pain during the foreclosure crisis and, things not being high tide in our valley, especially hospitality related. We felt the pain again during the pandemic. So we need to learn our lessons, and we need to be aggressive, just like Ms. Quigley stated, and we need to be in the pack, making sure that we're landing these, like you said, higher wage, higher skill, because we do want to provide more job opportunities, and we do want to make sure that we're attracting a robust tax base for us as local governments, state governments. It all matters at the end of the day to our constituency. I don't know how much my colleagues are educated about your curated events. I just recently witnessed what we jointly put together for Workforce Connections, and they were hosting it. I have a feeling, Tina, you had a lot to do with the wooing of bringing a convention that has been in DC forever. But could you give us a sampling of what you have in mind in terms of these series of curated events, just to illuminate just how intense the persuasion is going to be?
So the very first thing that a company asks when they are looking to relocate is, where am I going to get my employees? Will I have a pipeline of employees that I can either steal from my competitors or that I know is being pumped out through the education system? Do I have a trainable workforce? So the very first thing that we want to be able to show is what our education system looks like. In particular, as Jan mentioned, the fact that our higher ed system is much more agile and attuned and capable of delivering that workforce than a lot of other metropolitan areas are, because we are new, we're energetic, and we have some university presidents right now who are like, they understand their role in trying. So getting the university presidents and talking about our education system is one of the very first things that we have to do. The next thing we have to do is show them, this is going to sound trivial, but even before they look at a tax culture, a tax environment, they want to know, what's the bureau, how hard is it for me to work with local governments? Are they welcoming to businesses, or are they an impediment to business? Can I work with their building permit department? Can I work with their elected leaders? Are they going to pay attention to me? Are they going to help me build and get over all of those? So the opportunity to bring, that's the other thing we have to do, is let them feel this connection with the stakeholders and the leadership. So education first, then what business environment, and then it comes to what a lot of super smart CEOs don't ever think beyond just the Strip, and we all know these people who have come here, moved here, and they're like, I had no idea you could actually have a very high quality of life here. So we have to get them out into the community. We have to show them our outdoor opportunities, as well as what it is like just to live here. The Strip is fun, and the Strip and our conventions will get them here, but now it's our responsibility to get them out of that vacuum and into the community, meeting all the rest of us.
And Councilwoman, a lot of those will be, say, with the university, will curate a roundtable with the president, some of the key deans, tour of the medical school, Boyd Law, where they really see hospitality health. This is what's happening here. Here's where I can find a workforce. And then the same thing as you start bringing them, even showing them downtown Summerlin, showing them Red Rock, taking them on helicopter tours, which really showcase the valley and where you live and where people are, because they don't see that. They come to Las Vegas and they stay in a hotel.
I think
and that's what they know.
A lot would be astounded just to see the Smith Center. I'm sure nobody knows about that.
Thank you so much, and I just want to make the commitment and the offer. I have had different other folks come through the office, and they're like, wow, the city of Las Vegas really is accessible. I'm meeting the councilwoman and other cities. That's nearly impossible, so I'm making the offer that I think we stand ready and willing to have these face-to-face meetings with folks who want to hear about how amazing we truly are, folks that move the needle, make processes easy, and want to work with people to make sure they come to us. So
the great thing is we don't need to make up the story. We have the story. We just need to tell the story so people can hear it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Mayor. As a small business person, very supportive. I also love the idea of highlighting this and using the appropriate dollars for it. These are earmarked dollars for economic development that we're using. It's altogether fitting that we do this with those specified dollars. The idea that we highlight and showcase Nevada's robust, business-friendly climate is what we should be doing. This is a great opportunity, and I hope that when you guys return and report to us in 7 months, 8 months from now, that we hear of relocations of businesses. Of course, that's what everybody wants, but it doesn't happen magically. It really happens with your efforts and with the collaborative efforts of local governments. This is the way we should be doing things. I want to also clarify, because there was a little bit of consternation. This dialogue has happened real fast. I'd probably say in the last 10 days that this has been on our forefront about skepticism on what the money will be used for. So I appreciate Mayor Jones and Mr. Smith reaffirming the fact that no taxpayer dollars will be used on Super Bowl Sunday on tickets for wealthy people. Everything will be used in highlighting and showcasing Southern Nevada, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and my last ask is, of course I realize there's multi-jurisdictions and everybody wants to be highlighted in the tour, but we have some great things happening, and I know we have Ryan on the board to beat his chest about the wonderful things the city of Las Vegas is doing, but we have a great incubator tech center downtown. We have Las Vegas Ballpark in Summerlin. We have great things to showcase. So please consider us in your deliberations.
All on our list.
Yeah, I would say thank you, Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning, Mayor and Tina. Thank you all for being here. It's always a pleasure having you here and seeing you all. I'm a big fan of what you're looking to do. I think that if you look at the advancement of our city and where our city needs to go and all the amenities that need to be highlighted within our city, we have to tell that story. I watched yesterday the county approve their funding model, and I thought Shani did a really good job of laying out the case, as well as with you, Ryan. North Las Vegas has also approved their allotment. I think it's important. I'm not sure what Henderson is going to do quite yet, but I know Mayor Romero is someone from the RDA world, and I would think that she would understand the importance of doing this. It's also important to understand that the dollars that we're potentially could be allotted for this are coming out of the RDA, coming out of the redevelopment agency. They are not coming out of general fund dollars. And the redevelopment agency is meant to go out and promote Las Vegas, to generate businesses coming in, whether it's World Market Center, whether that is our tech innovation centers that we have, and other business and industries to come in here. So this is exactly what it has been meant to do. And I really think that the collaboration between the region is important. I hope that GoEd does come in and is able to play a role, but I know that they'll be there if they can't do it financially for budget reasons. I hope that's not the case. But I know that they work closely with LVGVA and all of our other redevelopment agencies throughout the city. So, we have, the state has spent a lot of money over the years doing junkets around the world, promoting Las Vegas. I think this is more exclusive. You're going to get a captivated audience. And if you can get these CEOs there, then you're talking to, I always say boss to boss, right? You're talking from leadership to leadership to talk about promoting Las Vegas and Southern Nevada. I hope you get the mayors involved in that. I think that's important. I know many CEOs want to talk boss to boss and leader to leader, so I hope that the mayors will be engaged and they'll have an opportunity to speak about the advancements of what's taking place in our cities. And also understand this is a long-term strategy, I believe. There's no quick fix to the issues that we're facing, and sometimes we look for immediate results. And these results are going to come maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And if we can get one of these companies to come in, it'll be well worth the dollars that we invest into promoting Southern Nevada and promoting Las Vegas. And so, we got a great board. You two are amazing, as always. You've got other members of our community who love our community, Ryan Irwin, Peter Guzman, and others that care about the advancement of our community. So I think we're in good hands there. And I offer, if there's anything we can do or my office can do to help promote while we're here, please reach out, because I think this is really important. So thank you all.
Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Creer and Mayor Goodman both sit on LVCVA with me, and we see so many events and conventions that are coming to the city all the time, and there's an opportunity to try to coordinate with some of those events more strategically as part of an economic development effort in the long term.
Before, no motion at this time, because I think we should hear from the public, but did you have follow-up questions? I thought you said I had many on my list. I only heard two. So.
Okay. Well, more of a statement.
Okay.
So I'm not sure a 3-day of events is going to encourage people, as you said, Mayor Jones, people come here and they choose to locate somewhere else. And could that be because we have a need to invest more in our education, our medical district, our water issues? So I'm excited about the Super Bowl coming to Vegas. This would be a great moment in history and an unbelievable opportunity for us to shine. But it is truly disheartening to witness a request for public funds for these types of events, especially when pressing issues demand our attention and financial resources. Our community, like so many others, is grappling with inadequate health care, a lack of affordable housing, rising crime rates, homelessness, drug abuse, and our animal rescues are overflowing with animals due to failures of the foundation, to name a few. Yesterday, we got a judgment for $141 million against the city. In the face of these urgent needs, spending taxpayer money on a party for corporate executives and tours, I feel, is not only irresponsible, it violates the very trust given to us by the voters and citizens of our city. As my colleague stated earlier, finances can't always come from the government. So remembering that taxpayers entrust their hard-earned money to be managed responsibly by their elected representatives is crucial. While these tax dollars may have entered the general fund from redevelopment agency, they can and should be used for vital services. While the perceived goal of the funding is to create economic growth and diversity is really admirable, and I appreciate you for coming here. We are funding the Las Vegas Convention and Visitor Authority and the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance with taxpayer dollars, whose primary mission is economic development and expansion. We also have a variety of chambers and commerce dedicated to that cause. I believe the work is better left to them, so I will not be supporting. But I appreciate you coming here, and I appreciate the work that you've done. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. And what I'd like to do, we're going to open this up, but I do want to make a couple of statements before you go off. Going back with traveling with the LECVA now for 24 years, but not over the past couple because we don't travel as a board anywhere. There are so many boats we've missed. The thing that comes to me so significantly about this, the eyes and ears of the world are upon this city. That is what drives me on this. I would beg you not to consider pointing out things where we are not proud at this time. That people like to be part of a winner. We all, you all, love living here. And why do we love it? For the many amenities and attributes that we can give. But the eyes and ears of the world are on us. Therefore, we have to put forward a best step. And what are the things that we are most proud of? These are things I can share later, and with knowing you both so well, would be happy to do. But I said, please don't put on this some of what you've already articulated, because that is just a reason, and this has been 47 years that I have been talking about one issue, and people and companies don't come unless there is a very high, we can brag this. One of the things you mentioned, Tina, and I've heard it from so many developers, working with the city of Las Vegas, because the team's so tight, it is grease lightning. We have developers right now here and out in the county, the same developers, that know how cumbersome it can be to get through the processing and development. So my only plea is realizing this. Don't try to cover everything and say it's wonderful when you know darn well it isn't. You know, it's really bad. So what are those, when you prioritize, what are the things you're absolutely sure of you can say to these people? And then they say to you, yeah, but look at this. And we're working on it. We need you to come help us because you come from wherever. So my prayer is, and for all of us, regardless of how the vote is, I have no idea, and I want to hear from the public, but the eyes and ears of the world are on us. And from my perspective, we have to support this if it's well done. If it is not well done, your committee, I don't know how your committee came to be. I don't think anybody in the city was called about it, just it morphed, and it's here, and you're all very experienced and wonderful. And I know, I believe you're an attorney, you poor soul. Are you an attorney? No? Thank heavens. Yes. So kudos. So the key is that as you're going out, it has to be absolutely perfect. It has to be better than Phoenix, because it is our home, and we come from all over the country and all over the world. We have represented, I think our school district speaks 96 different languages. Yes, so the eyes and the ears of the world are upon Las Vegas, that has been calm, wonderful, safety. issues with which we've been dealing. And so, to me, just don't brag about things where we're not any good. So I'm going to open up public comment. So if you would like to sit down, but don't go too far, please. Oh, yes. Is 3 minutes plenty? Because I know this gentleman could go on for an hour. How's 3 minutes, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so please put the clock on, and it's on.
Yes, my name is Ed Euling, and what a difference you're doing it here than the Kabuki Theater that happened at the county yesterday, where it was such nonsense. And things don't just happen by big companies moving here or big people moving here. If one looks at the history of Las Vegas, and I moved here as a 3-year-old in 1943, 80 years ago, and so lived through World War II, lived through, Las Vegas was a little village of 10,000 people with dusty roads, and it was a railroad, place, a railroad stop. And out of that grew the most incredible industry in one of the most incredible industries in the world. Out of nothing, the people that started the hotels in the early 50s when I was a teenager, they didn't come asking for money. No, they gave. Everything was so fabulous for the people benefited. Now, these people are coming, these rich people are coming and asking us to fund their projects. Let's go back to the funding. Am I?
Keep an eye on your time. Go.
Okay. Let's go back to the funding of the stadium, $750 million, public monies. I asked, where is the benefit of that gone? Has it gone to the public? Absolutely not. It has gone to the hotels, to the resorts, to the owner of the Raiders. I asked the president of the Raiders, would you contribute 10 cents to the $750 million? After all, your boss has made $1 billion out of the $750 million of public funds that was put into the stadium. No, they won't donate. They won't put anything in. These people are so greedy. Please don't use public funds for this. They can write a check tomorrow out of 5 minutes of what happens in their casinos to do this. It might be a good idea. It might not be a good idea. 3,000 people a month move to the city, and they're saying that the CEOs that have all the resources in the world don't know what the city is about, how fabulous the city is. Give me a break.
Thank you, Mr. Euling.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, Lisa Mayo DeRiso. I came here, I testified yesterday at the county, and now I'm even more confused than I was yesterday. I don't know that this budget, it's not in the backup. I will submit all of this backup that I believe the taxpayer should see how this is broken out. I believe in economic development. My other business, Mayo & Associates, we do economic development. The World Market Center, my project, 5 years to get it here. I have spent 18 months in Ward 5 trying to bring an economic development project there, met with all the neighbors. I have a client that wants to come into Ward 1 in the medical district. I talk to clients every day that want to come here. Let me tell you, it isn't one visit that makes somebody come to this city. It is over and over and over. And you know what? When they're here, they read the Review Journal, and they read our crime rate, and they read the headlines about the school, and they read those things. They're realities in our community. So, but what I want to say is I'm not against economic development. I make a living on economic development. I appreciate what Tina Quigley does at her job. But this one-time event is not enough. You know, and Jan Jones said, we will never come back here again to ask again. That's in the public record. So this $290,000 should be a one-time thing. But if you look at their budget, and I want to talk about this, and they say that none of this money will go there, it's impossible that it doesn't, because they're spending $850,000 of the dollars from all the municipalities. $340,000 of it is for the two-day events, Friday, Saturday, welcome and community tour. That leaves $510,000. But they have a $380,000 leftover on the budget. So $230,000 is going to something else. And it's got to be going to Super Bowl. It's got to be going to something else. But I urge you, if you have economic development excess money of $290,000, please put it into Ward 5. Please put it into those areas that need economic development. Please put it into Ward 1. Please put it into Ward 3. Small business people need help. You own city. You own city in Ward 5, land in Ward 5, city land. Put $290,000 into that. That's where it belongs. And I'd like to submit this for the public record. This is the budget and the backup that wasn't on the agenda, which I'm not real pleased about that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Doriso, and I love your passion for our city and our wards. And they would like money, just as a plea. Money, 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 money. Go ahead. Uh-oh, his back hurts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Daniel Braisted, B-R-A-I-S-T-E-D. Before we spend $300,000 or $500,000, let's just clean our sidewalks. I mean, we're going to invite these executives into our town, and they're going to walk along and see these yellow skid things that should be painted brown. We don't clean them. I mean, where's the money going? I was at the parking garage at the Paris, and it's ugly in there. And why is it ugly? Because I'm guessing most of you use valet. Sometime just get out in the parking lot and then call the CEO and say, go clean it. We're going to bring executives into town. I think it's great that you're talking Formula One. You're going to have international reporters here. And you can only talk so long about driving around in a circle, and one or two of them are going to pick up something else that you don't want to know about. So I encourage you to clean. It's great to hear you talk about using our trade shows. We have them. We just had DEF CON. DEF CON is a worldwide hacking organization, and they come in. They had 20,000 people there. They all paid $440. It was way over my head, but at least I was exposed. How many city employees or government employees went there? The CIA goes, the military goes. How many locals went? The big trade show that I like is the National Hardware Show. That comes in March. That's when people come to town with ideas that need fostering. Well, do any of our expansion people go to that and say, hey, we can help you? No, I don't know. So the Las Vegas Convention and Visitor Authority, their tagline, I've forgotten what it is, but it talks about leisure this and leisure that. And I'll propose at the next one that we come in with one that talks about having a good time, excitement of sports, and business as one word. No temporary, just business, and we talk about what we're doing. And we should, have you ever been, any of you ever been to a World Expo or a World Fair? To me, a World Expo down there around the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority would be an idea to consider about future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I want to know Paris and Formula One, they're in the county, and so we can only take care of the city, but I was looking at our city manager, making sure we're pristine on the 20, in February, please,
We still have an ugly sign under the railroad on Charleston.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Safety, and that's your number one priority, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to make comment? This is a public item that we're letting everyone speak if they wish. Okay. So at this point, where we are, is there anything else you would like to add, Mr. Smith or Ms. Jones-Blackhurst or Ms. Quigley? Anything else you would like to add before we move for
Ryan
motion?
Smith for the record, nothing more to add.
Okay. Well, I would have to say, because I believe in everything I've heard, because everybody speaks with passion when you live in or believe in this community, but I know we are a world stage, and I'm going to move to go ahead and support. I think it would be very embarrassing for the city of Las Vegas not to be part of the totality of effort for this. But knowing it comes out of development money, you better tighten your belt. So I'm going to move to approve this allocation.
With the change, Jeff Dorgak, City Attorney, with the change that the agreement will be with the LVGA, correct, ma'am?
If that's what you're telling us.
That's what I'm telling you. Thank you.
So please vote, and then please post. And that motion carries. So spend well and come back and let us know what you're doing and what you've got, and appreciate you're all spending the morning with us. And I certainly respect everything you said, Councilwoman Seaman, in my mind and my heart. I agree. And we work too hard. We work too hard. Okay, so I think that wasn't out of order. That was in order. We go to 26. Agenda item 26, discussion for possible action to designate municipal court marshal as a critical labor shortage position for a 2-year period beginning August 16th, 2023 through August 15th, 2025. And this is in reference to all wards. And since I said August 16th, happy birthday, Sarah Garcia. It's her birthday. Please.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. For the record, Vince Samora, Human Resources Director. I have with me Jack Esslinger, the Court Administrator for Muni Court. As the Mayor stated, this is a discussion item to designate the municipal court marshals as a critical labor shortage position for a 2-year period beginning August 16, 2023 through August 15, 2025. As defined by NRS 286.523, the state allows the reemployment of retired employees to fill what we determine to be critical without jeopardizing their PERS benefit. In order for PERS to affirm your designation, we are required to discuss in an open meeting our reason for the designation and to gain approval prior to submitting our request to PERS. By way of background, the Marshal's Unit responsibilities include judicial protection, courthouse security, warrant services, prisoner transport, and specialty court duties. The Municipal Court Marshal Unit consists of 21 marshals, 3 sergeants, and 1 lieutenant. And since this is a post-certified Category 1 law enforcement position, per NRS, candidates must complete a full background investigation and medical examination in order to completing other pre-employment screenings such as physical agility testing, polygraph, drug tests, and psychological suitability assessments. On average, a full recruitment cycle takes approximately 6 to 8 months to complete. Once hired, new recruits are also required to complete a 6-month academy as well as 27 weeks of field training before they can fully function as a court marshal. Currently, we have 1 vacant marshal position, and we are expecting 3 additional vacancies by January 2024.
Excuse me, that's what this is about, the 1 position that's open?
It's about 1 position and subsequent positions that are open and the amount of time it takes for us to fill those positions, Mayor.
Okay, but this is added on to what already exists? I didn't quite understand what it meant, that because of the labor shortage, that are we adding another position? What is this specifically?
Mayor Goodman, to you, Court Administrator Jack Esslinger. No, we're not adding any positions. There are no additional marshal positions being added to the budget. What this allows us to do, is I have 4 marshals that just entered an academy Monday, and they're going to complete the academy in 6 months, and then they're going to go through 27 weeks of training before I can actually use them as a marshal. So that's 4 bodies that I'm down for that entire time period. We currently have 1 opening We know for sure we're going to have 2 more, which will be 3, and I've got 1 or 2 more that are eligible to retire anytime and can leave whenever they want without penalty. So what these positions will allow us to do is use retired court marshals who've been with the court before, and allow us to have them come on board and fill one of the vacant positions that we have without having to wait for the entire recruitment process, and also the academy and the field training that is required. It's no additional marshals added to my staff at all.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand I really didn't understand what we were doing here.
Once again, for the record, Vince Samar, Human Resources Director. And since the Marshal unit at Municipal Court is such a small unit, anytime we do have somebody leaving, it has a significant impact on their services. So what we are looking for is a motion designating municipal court marshals as a critical labor shortage position for a 2-year period, and we would then submit that to PERS for their approval.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Creer had a question or comment, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Next question. So when this happens, is there a statute or there's a regulation or bylaws that says you have to come to council for this? Wouldn't it be more efficient if that designated power was allotted to the city manager in order to make that determination? Because here you are short. You could have had these people, if the city manager had said, hey, yes, I'm going to designate this as a state of emergency for a year or 2 years, and you would have been able to, you would have somebody there. For you to have to get this on approved to be on the agenda, agendize, wait to come here, I mean, it seems like it is stopping progress for something that is vitally needed. And so what's the process for that? Did council mandate that you come to council?
Thank you, Councilman. Mayor, through you, it is required by NRS that we have an open meeting to discuss this. It's NRS 286.523, which outlines the process of having an open meeting to discuss before we submit to PERS for the ultimate designation of the critical labor shortage, Councilman.
And I'd like to ask on that of our city attorney, is there any background to preclude putting in a request to change that?
Jeff Dorkak, City Attorney, for the record. As Councilman Creer was asking the question, I was on top of it researching down here, and it looks like the designating authority is the City Council, so we would need a statutory change. So to your question, Mayor, you will all have to get behind a BDR to get 286 changed.
So can Councilman Creer get started on that?
I'll be back.
All right, so notified down there, please. Okay, so we know that all. Yes. So at this point, we need a motion to move on this?
Yes, ma'am.
So, question from Councilwoman, please, Walensky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This, I think, is for Mr. Zamora, but I appreciate everything that Jack does for our courts and our marshals. They are awesome. It's a small but mighty team, and they are amazing. My question is, we have the same workforce difficulties with the fire department. It takes just as long to put people through an academy and a probationary period to end up working on the floor. This is very clever. Is this something that we can replicate in other areas that could help us with our hiring issues?
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor, through you. The distinction, I think, Councilwoman, is the fact that we have much larger academies within the fire services versus what we have for municipal court. And if we do have turnover or any type of individuals leaving, we have what we believe is appropriate backup. Over the last number of years, we've had 2 academies with both approximately about 50 individuals coming through for fire services. So it's a little bit less, but to get to your point relative to the question, you can, as the staff can recommend to the designating authority, which is the City Council, that we could go ahead and designate any position that we could substantiate to PERS as a critical labor shortage. Other jurisdictions do it quite frequently. Most notably would be the Clark County School District, as well as Jack's done some research, and other judicial entities have used this designation to backfill positions when needed.
You're absolutely right in general about fire, but I'm thinking specifically that paramedic portion, we are very low.
We are.
So is this also a union issue?
No, ma'am, it is not.
Thank you. Okay, so any comments, questions? And I would entertain a motion, Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve based on the recommendation by our Human Resources Director. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. Please post.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Zamora, too. Okay, we're at number 27. And discussion, possible action regarding the appointment of nominees David Rao and Howard Arata, and the reappointment of Brian Poole and Carlos Zulaga to the Board of Appeals. Mr. Poole has served since 2018. Mr. Zulaga has served since 2019. Both are eligible, wish to continue serving. Mr. Rowe is the nominee for consideration to replace Brent Wright. Mr. Arata is the nominee for consideration to replace member Rocky McGee. Mr. Wright and Mr. McGee are not eligible for reappointment as they have both termed out. And my motion will be to approve. So if you would all vote on this motion to approve Agenda Item 27. And please post. And I want to thank both Mr. Wright and Mr. Arata for your service all this time. Appreciate it. And that motion carries, so welcome and appreciate that. Agenda Item 28, discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Cheryl Perdue to the Historic Preservation Commission. Ms. Perdue has served on board since October of 2022, eligible for reappointment for her first full term. She has the recommendation of Director of Community Development and wishes to continue serving. Councilman Creer, I understand you're prepared to make the motion.
I am, Madam Mayor. I am so happy to have Ms. Perdue serving on the Historic Preservation Commission. She is a wealth of knowledge for the city of Las Vegas, throughout Southern Nevada, and on top of that, and even greater, she is an absolute wonderful person that brings a smile to everything that she puts her mind towards. So without any further delay, I'm going to make a recommendation to approve item number 28.
Thank you very much. This motion, please vote and please post. I was just thinking how responsive this little piece is.
Oh, didn't I?
Did you vote?
I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. I thought I did. There we
You got it? Great. Carries. Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Perdue. 29, we have obeyed till the 4th of October. So we're into Agenda Item 30, recommending committee bills eligible for adoption at this meeting. Bill number 202317. Councilman Knutson, would you like to have the bill read?
Yes, Mayor.
Bill number 2023-17, First Amendment, an ordinance to amend various provisions of LVMC chapters 14.10 and 14.11 to update water conservation measures to be consistent with regulations of the Las Vegas Valley Water District, make related changes to LVMC Title 19, amend LVMC chapter 16.28 to prohibit the use of evaporative cooling in new structures and provide for other related matters.
Would you like to make a motion?
Madam Mayor, move to approve with the amendment suggested by our city attorney.
Thank you very much. Whoops, please vote and please post. And I must tell you in the public, yes, we get your calls, and yes, it's really a challenging time for us, but we all have to be on board and conserve. So we know we're all having higher bills. And that motion carries. So we'll go on to Agenda Item 31, new bills. Item number 31, Bill number 202318 will be heard at the recommending committee meeting on Tuesday, September 5th. 2023. City Attorney, please read the new bill.
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 2023-18, an ordinance to amend the Uniform Housing Code as adopted by the city to require air conditioning in dwelling units, guest rooms, and congregate facilities and provide for other related matters.
Thank you. New Bill 2023-18 is assigned to the September 5, 2023 recommending committee members, Councilman Knutson and Councilwoman Seaman and Polanski. If any so designated are unable to attend, the clerk's office will coordinate finding a substitute as necessary at my direction, please.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, items 32 through 38B may consider in one motion, one vote, are considered to be routine public hearing items with no condition changes. Any person representing an application or a member of the public, member of council, not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the applications recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this portion of the agenda. 32, 230305, applicant Nigro Construction, Inc., owner LIG LLC, following land use entitlement project requests on 1.66 acres on the east side of Osa Blanca Road, approximately 660 feet north of Kyle Canyon Road, C1 Limited Commercial, Ward 6, with Councilwoman Bruning. 32A and B, I will read then following 230305 EOT1 for the second extension of time and approved special use permit SUP 76234, proposed 6,000 square foot liquor establishment tavern use. 32B 230305 EOT2, second extension of time for approved site development plan review SDR 76235 for a proposed commercial center consisting of 6,000 square feet tavern, 5,100 square foot retail building, and an 80-foot tall freestanding sign wireless communication facility stealth design with waivers to allow a 10-foot wide landscape buffer adjacent to the east property line where 15 feet is required, 5-foot wide landscape buffer, and adjacent to a portion of the south property line where 8 feet is required. 33-23-0112, Ambleside Properties LLLP and the City of Las Vegas owner, Mogan Holdings Company LLC, in the following land use entitlement project requests on 2.33 acres northwest corner Alpine Place, Appian Way, Ward 1, with Councilman Knutson. And then I will be doing 33A, B, and C. 230112-GPA1, General Plan Amendment from TOD1, Transit-Oriented Development High, to Medium Density Residential. 230112-ZON1, rezoning from C1 Limited Commercial to RTH Single Family Attached. And 230112 TMP1 Alpine Alpian for a proposed 31-lot single attached residential division. Number 35, 230187 SDR, applicant owner J&M Lee Investments LLC, on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed 2-story, 4-unit multifamily residential dwelling with waivers and perimeter landscape buffer requirements on 0.16 acres at 2517 Valley Street, R3, medium density residential zone, Ward 3, with Councilwoman Diaz. Number 35, 230190 SUP1, applicant Goomba LLC, owner Gary Crea Sr. and Gary Crea Jr., on land use entitlement project request for a proposed 6,317 square foot alcohol on-premise full use at 1412 South Main, CM Commercial Industrial Zone, Ward 3, with Councilwoman Diaz. Number 36, 230202 VAC1, applicant owner City of Las Vegas, land entitlement project request for a petition to vacate portion of Cimarron Road and portion of the Bureau of Land Management right-of-way grant generally located between West Cliff Drive and Summerlin Parkway, Ward 1, with Councilman Knutson. Number 37, 230209 SNC1, applicant owner Howard Hughes Corporation LLC, land use entitlement project request, proposed street name change from Kettle Bend Road to Auroch Street, generally located in the west of Clark County, 215 between Sunset Run Drive and Kestrel Creek Avenue in Ward 2, with Councilwoman Seaman. Number 38, 230252, applicant owner Weston Vyacheslav, on the following land use entitlement project requests on 0.20 acres, generally located northwest corner of Vegas Drive and Michael Way, Ward 5, of Councilman Creer. Number 38, A and B. 38 is 230252 GPA1, General Plan Amendment from L, Low Density Residential, 10 Medium Density Residential, and 230252ZON1, rezoning from RE residential estates to R3 medium density residential. Staff recommends approval of all items, items 32A and B. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval on items 33 through 38B, which are public hearings that I declare open. Is anyone here wishing to speak on any of these items? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close public hearing. Mayor Pro Tem, I have a motion for the one motion, vote, one vote items, please.
Madam Mayor, I'm ready to make a motion, but I understand Councilwoman Bruni has a condition to put into the record.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Knudsen. Yes, I'd like to read a condition into item 32B, which is 23-0305-EOT2, and I'd like to turn it over to Peter to read the condition into the record, please.
Thank you.
Peter Lowenstein for the record. Through you, Madam Mayor, the condition of approval would read as follows. The 80-foot tall freestanding sign, bracket, wireless communication facility, comma, stealth design, in bracket, shall be amended to a concealment box that includes a Kyle Canyon District logo on each face. The amended wireless communication facility, comma, stealth design shall be subject to review and approval by the Department of Community Development Planning Division prior to the issuance of a building permit for the wireless communication facility of stealth design. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I'd like to acknowledge or have the record reflect that the applicant, Nigro Construction, did agree to the condition, and I want to thank him for working with us and recognizing what a beautiful space the Kyle Canyon corridor is.
Thank you very much. So your motion now, please.
Madam Mayor, with that stated condition, I would move to approve the community development one motion, one vote agenda.
Thank you. There's a motion, please. Do you want an oral vote?
Aye.
Aye. And that's on 32 through 38B. And that motion carries unanimously. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 39, 230109 on the following land use entitlement project request on 0.80 acres at 105 West Wyoming Avenue, M Industrial Zone. 39A and B. 39A is 230109 SUP1, proposed 5,885 square foot alcohol on premise, full use with 6,694 square feet outdoor plaza area, and 230109 SDR1 for the proposed conversion of an existing 5,885 square foot major auto repair garage into a restaurant development with a proposed 6,694 square foot outdoor plaza. The applicant is Arts District Park, LLC. The owner is Derby Investments 2, LLC. The Planning Commission recommends approval. Staff recommends denial on the entire land use entitlement project. These are in Ward 3 with Councilwoman Diaz. Public hearings, which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present? Love the artwork. Good morning.
Good morning. Mike Van Seer with Spark Design Group. I'm the architect representing the project.
Okay, do you want to tell us anything that we
Certainly.
haven't read in already?
Yeah, my client, Duran Gerby, has been a property owner for quite some time in the area. The previous tenant was a auto body shop, and he saw an opportunity to redevelop this project, and what he's looking to do is bring about a building that will serve several different, we'll say, aspiring people looking to develop potential restaurants, but the idea will be to have food trucks or food trailers inside of the facility. We will be providing the proper fire suppression, restrooms, amenities for the folks to actually have an enclosed dining hall. We'll have an outdoor seating area to the rear of the project, which will allow for various activities, Super Bowl parties, things like that. We are doing some site work to enable a fully functional fire access lane to have access to both the buildings to the east and the west. we will be installing a grease interceptor to allow for a proper collection of solid waste prior to entering the water system. So we're really excited about this project. We think it's going to bring a lot of quick bites to the Arts District, which there's a lot of restaurants there, but this will give us an opportunity to have, a little bit of diversity in the area. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer.
Are you west of and adjacent to the florist shop there?
Yes, we are, yeah.
And does your principal own that flower shop as well?
The landlord owns that building to the east, yes.
And your parking, well, I'm sure Councilwoman would get to it, and I gather to the south is the culinary?
Correct, yes.
And to the east is the big empty property that used to be apartments?
Correct.
Okay, how about from planning?
Thank you, Mayor. Seth Bullock for the record. Mayor, the applicant is proposing a food court that will house up to 15 different varieties of food and provide seating for 162 people. Since the expectation is for people to stay and eat, staff finds the proposed parking for 37 vehicles is insufficient for the business model, where the form-based code would give allowances to provide a minimum of 110 spaces, which is 40% of the required parking. Therefore, staff is recommending denial of both the special use permit and the site development review. Thank you.
Okay. At this point, before I turn it to you, should we hear from the public? Is that all right? Is there anyone here that would like to make comment on 39, 39A and B? Good morning, still, yes. And your name, please.
Hi, I'm Becky Miller. I am the president of the Arts District, and I wish these folks great success, but we do have some concerns. One is the parking. There's not enough parking, and the request for reduction of parking is not going to help the community. The project itself sounds wonderful. That is a building that could do really well with being developed, and I think they've got a great idea here. The other concern that I have is it is not in the Arts District, and we keep having businesses come up and tout that they are in the Arts District, and when they're not, they are our neighbors. There is a proposal that we will eventually expand the Arts District, but that is not yet solidified. So just for the future, I would like the council and people who grant licensing to consider the name and the branding of the Arts District when things like this come through. And finally, the last point I had was I did not receive a card. I'm a stakeholder in the city, and normally I receive the cards of these type of things that come out, and it may have just been that it got lost in a mail. The Arts District would like to ask the powers that be if the Arts District Board itself could also receive all of the cards that normally only stakeholders receive, because very few, actually I'm the only stakeholder on the board right now. And it would greatly help the Arts District community to be able to respond positively and to make suggestions when things come up that affect us and our community. Is that possible to get the Arts District added as an address for these?
City Attorney, is there any restriction on that other than the cost to the city? Because if it's online and you're the president, who's ever president, then can notify, because we have so much movement in the district too.
We do.
And that's constant, that's more work for people to update addresses. The president should always have on their list who are the members of the Arts District. So, but just the question, is there any legal problem with that?
Jeff Dorgak, City Attorney. No, Mayor, I think you hit the practical point right on the head. I know the Community Development Team sends out the notices to the legally required recipients, so the practical question would be whether or not they have the resources to add requested members or a member to the list.
Just the board.
And I'll defer to Mr. Floyd on that.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Seth Fuller for the record. So we, as Mr. Dorkak said, the legal notice goes to the surrounding property owners. We also do send notice to, well, there's not an HOA, but if there were an HOA to HOAs, we also send it to our loosely formed neighborhood association presidents. They also get notice, but I'll have to check. I don't know what designation the Arts District Board, the 18B Board, falls in.
The Arts District is a 501c4 and a 501c3, and we do not get that card. And we are loosely formed.
On that. The other thing, my hope is, because I know the original vision was that if the Arts District, thank you, Cindy Funkhauser, were successful ultimately, that it would expand. So,
Yes,
you know.
yes, and we do anticipate that happening. My comment is...
I mean, it's something to be proud of. So if you're entering it and you want that word out, and especially as we're marketing in the city what our districts are, what we're doing. So I think, you know, I'm so sorry I put that on my card. I'm next to the Arts District.
No,
But anyway,
it's fine. It's just that once we do expand, we will continue, probably anticipate people even further outside the Arts District branding, so.
And so that would be something for the city manager.
Right, it's just be
sure.
just be considerate of our district's branding, and yes, we do anticipate bringing our Gateway District friends into the wonderful family of the Arts District, and we're looking forward to it.
Okay, and so for a timeline, and because we now have our new city manager with whom you've been dealing anytime you did anything with infrastructure, Mr. Jansen, I would suggest following up to find out from his understanding when that expansion and how long it will take and where it will go, which means legal's involved in that too.
Thank you very much, and we do wish this group the greatest success in their project. Thank you.
Pardon?
Madam Mayor, I do have a comment.
Oh, don't go
One
anywhere.
way that we can help with your notification is we can add you to our agenda mailing list so that you always receive the agenda. It's not the specified public notice that you're talking about with planning, but you'll at least know all the items that are coming forward, and you can see whether or not there's something in the Arts District that might be interesting.
That would help. Thank you.
See, we have wonderful people here. Brilliant, wonderful. Is this, before I turn it over to Councilwoman and check with the other council members, is this going to be a two-story building?
No, it's single story.
Single story, okay. Any comments, questions? Yes, Councilman Cribb, please.
Thank you. I don't know if Councilman Diaz is going to address this, but the parking is a major issue. I mean, I've visited Tappan Ash a number of times. You just added Randy's Wine Garden there, which is there, and there's no parking. I know that people park across the street. I'm not sure if you have a memorandum of understanding with the culinary union for the land across the street, but what is the plan for parking?
Well, they've been working with the culinary union, and the culinary union has been a wonderful neighbor to these guys, and both Tappan Ash and Randy's Wine Garden, both owners are going to be involved with this project as well. And so one of the things that these guys are also looking to do is doing special events at this facility. And they've already had a working relationship as far as parking goes with the culinary union for those types of situations. But, you know, a lot of the area is also a walkable district. You know, I walk all the time throughout I'm actually the tenant in this space on level 2 in that building, and I don't drive. I park my car and I walk everywhere. So, you know, the intent would be, part of this is going to have a concierge service so that these guys can place orders online and either deliver it or have somebody come pick it up. But the intent will be that, you know, we've got agreements with the culinary union that for using their parking on isolated incidents, and I guess that at this time that's probably all we have at the moment.
Well, and as a point of clarification, we just, through the city and our city manager, explored with the culinary board to use that C2 property on the map and were denied. Okay. We were denied. That's the final resolve. Even in the interim, as they planned something else, we offered to asphalt it, use it, pay ourselves back, and share the income from parking, and they said no. So that's not an option at this point.
As far as, asphalting it,
is that correct, Mr. Jansen?
Mayor, Mike Jensen, Acting City Manager. You're correct, Mayor. We worked with the culinary union and gave them a proposal to actually put a public city parking lot there. and they would have seen a pretty nice little revenue allocation, but they did choose not to approve that. Just looking at the site on an aerial, some of the opportunities that we've worked with in the Greater Arts District has been to try to add angle parking on some streets wherever we can fit them. And I'm looking at just to the west of this parcel is Fairfield Avenue. And on the north side of Wyoming, we've done that. We've added angle parking, but it doesn't look like we've done it on the south side. So again, just always trying to creatively try to find some areas to provide some additional parking. We can have our team look to see if that might be an option. But for projects like this, oftentimes the developer will work with an adjacent parcel owner to get some type of off-site parking agreement in place if a problem arises or if they're projecting that it'll be popular enough. But I think as the representative for the project noted, we've been doing everything we can to make the Arts District walkable, and I'm very happy to hear his comments that that's how he's been using it. And as you know, we recently secured property to build our new parking garage, which is going to be about 3 blocks to the north, but still that won't be available, at least for another 18 months before we're going to start construction on that. So I think we would commit to working with this developer to try to find some additional parking wherever possible.
Thank you, and back to you, Councilman Greer.
Thank you, but you do have an agreement with the culinary. There is an understanding. I mean, they open up
on isolated incidents, yeah. Like for instance, when we had a grand opening for the wine garden, they allowed us to park on their unpaved lot. So again, that's more for isolated special incidents.
Right, but those are one-off events. I'm saying, is there an agreement? Because this is gonna, and I like the project. I think it's great. I like what is happening on that end of that side of Okie, Wyoming, which is Okie to me.
Yeah.
Always will be Okie. And
I lived on Wyoming as a kid,
yeah,
so.
okay. And I like it, but the parking is an issue. Parking is an issue now with those venues there. But there's no formalized agreement that you have with the culinary union that says you can use it every day between the hours of 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. or whatever.
Not currently. I know that they've talked about it because they're interested in it as well, as far as their staff being able to come in there and eat and, having potentially a gate from their space back to the backyard into ours as opposed to having to walk all the way around. So I think that there's some amicability to that, but I haven't been part of that conversation. That's with the property owner and the culinary arts folks.
Okay. I'll follow Councilwoman Diaz's lead. Thank you.
And also, I'd like to ask planning, because I drive that route every day. Property has been cleared on the south side of Wyoming, east of what's going to be or already a Herbst Chevron, huge gas station. All the property between your piece and, just going west has been cleared off. So I don't know if Councilwoman knows what's proposed on those cleaned acres right now.
I need to put my heads together with our planning staff because I do recall that there is a residential project coming in close proximity to this proposed food hall. So I do know that there's some elements, but I can't recall off the top of my head right now where they pinpoint every single one that is coming our way, or whether in the process to come to planning or has already been approved, but I'll lean. So what I'm thinking, Mayor, these concerns about the name of the establishment and the parking concerns were just articulated to me today. Okay. So I have not had the opportunity then to vet those concerns. So Michael, if you don't mind, what I'm thinking is we should hold the item in abeyance for a month.
Okay.
While we kind of try to make amends and figure a path forward to address Councilman's concerns about lack of parking in the area. Maybe I can enlist our city manager and public works team to figure out how many other additional parking spots we can create so I would rather make sure that I'm dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's before we move this. So if you don't mind, we'll hold this item in abeyance until September 20th.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Okay, so
that's my
there's
motion.
Thank you. There's motion to obey this to September 20th, keeping in mind that many of our council will not be here.
I know.
You're okay. All right. So please vote and please post. And would you go ahead and research those properties immediately that have been cleaned off? Because I know they're clean. I thought, wow, what's going in here?
We will definitely do that, Mayor.
Motion carries. Thank you.
We'll also
Thank
talk
you.
to the adjacent property owners to see about, potential parking as well. Thank you.
Good. All right, agenda item 40, 220228 on the following land use entitlement project request on 0.65 acres, 5320 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 1, C1 Limited Commercial Zone, 40 A and B. Here we go, 230228 VR1 allows 0 additional parking spaces where 27 are required for parking impaired development. And number 40B is 230228 SUP1, proposed 715 square foot massage establishment use with waivers to allow a 0-foot distance separation from an existing massage establishment use and a 217-foot distance separation from an individual care center daycare where 400 feet is required. The applicant is BBC Imports LLC. The owner is Sahara Mohawk LLC. Planning Commission recommends approval. Staff recommends denial on the entire land use entitlement project. These are in Ward 1. The Councilman Knutson. Public hearings, which I declare open. Is the applicant present? Good morning. Still.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Okay. My name is Christine May Do Nascimento. I'm a small business owner named the BBC Imports LLC, and this location is called the Bay Blair Med Spa at 5320 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 1, Las Vegas, Nevada 89146.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you want me to continue?
Yes, please
Okay,
continue.
yes. So
Sorry, I
I'm currently an advanced esthetician. I'll tell you a little bit about the project. I'm currently an advanced esthetician and PMU artist. My salon/med spa is a space where I am able to have all beauty individuals that fall under cosmetology, esthetician, PMU, and possibly massage. My goal is to make one-stop shop for clientele in the beauty and wellness field. And about the building where my unit is located, the whole building only has 3 units total. One of them is me, and the other 2 are doctors, which are Sahara LLC. They're both my landlords. All of us are appointment-based only. And then I believe one point about this is the parking. And parking is not an issue since we have only 3 businesses in the building with 30 parking units, private parking units, and as well as we are only appointment-based. And also, we also have street access to parking. And then the maximum percentage we ever used on the parking lot was 20%, and we also have street parking accessible as well, like I mentioned. I asked if we may be able to be approved furthermore for massage establishment, so I may be able to widen the net for the business, for suite rental to be able to have maximum only of 3 massage techs, if possible.
Thank you. Let's turn this over to planning, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Peter Lowenstein for the record. The subject site was not designed to accommodate such uses as the massage establishment and is insufficient in the parking needed for the proposed use. In addition, within the distance separation requirement area, there is another massage establishment in the adjacent parcel and a child care facility located within the health club to the east. Therefore, staff has recommended denial of the requested parking variance and the special use permit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward and make comment on agenda item 40, 40AB? Close public hearing. And any questions from council? Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you again for your time. The other day I was a little bit unorganized, so I wanted to apologize again publicly.
You're okay, thank
I just got back from vacation. My brain wasn't quite there yet. So I reviewed the application, and what I would like to suggest is a little bit about what we talked about in the office, is a condition of hours between the hours of 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Those would be limited hours, and then a 6-month administrative review from our business licensing staff. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's okay.
Mr. Lowenstein, is that okay with you?
That's fine. I have some prepared conditions for the record.
Please, thank you.
The first condition to be placed on item number 40B, which is 23-0228-SUP1, will read as, an administrative required review shall be conducted 6 months from the date of business license issuance. And the second condition would read, the hours of operation shall be limited to 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily.
He said it a lot better than I did, but I think I just said that.
What is the daycare nearby?
That I'm not sure of.
What is the daycare that's nearby, please?
Madam Mayor, that is located in the Las Vegas Athletic Club. They have a daycare license as part of that establishment.
Okay, back to you.
Okay, with no other questions, as long as you accept those conditions, Madam Mayor, with the conditions read into the record, I'd move to approve items 40A and B.
All right, there's a motion to approve on agenda items 40A and B. Please vote subject to conditions which have been agreed to. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Okay, we're on to agenda item 41. I'm asking to set the date of appeals and file the required public hearings. I'd instruct the city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals from City Planning Commission meetings, dangerous buildings, or nuisance litter abatements, please.
Will do, thank you.
Thank you. And agenda item 42, which is our final citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless a subject on the agenda and scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. This is your opportunity to address council, but council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak under this portion of the agenda? We will move on to agenda. Did you want to come forward? Okay. Seeing no one, we will go on to agenda item 43, which is our emerging issues. Discussion regarding potential items for future City Council agendas, reference all awards. Any discussion must be limited to whether or not such proposed items should be placed on a future agenda. No discussion regarding the substance of any such proposal topic shall occur. No action shall be taken. Do we have any? Yes. Councilman Knudsen.
Madam Mayor, thank you. I just wanted to let this board know I had asked Mr. Dorkak to provide an overview of the folks that he's bringing onto his team that are assuming new leadership roles, and maybe provide an overview of their responsibilities. I think it'd be helpful for me, at least, to understand the role of the city attorney and the new team. And I'd really like to know why he moved down to the other side, because that's a complete mystery to me.
The last part, I think the answer is obvious, but we will do that. We're going to do a report in hopefully the first meeting in October. That might be the best, since I know we have some members out. Second meeting in September, so we'll probably do that and line it up for a good hour presentation.
Bring your lunch. Golly. Okay. Any comments, questions, emerging issues from here? Nope. Okay. Aren't you the lucky one? You don't have to do anything, Mr. Jansen. They're not going to be yours. He's going to do a dog and pony show for us. So we'll move on to our council member recognition. And we'll start this time. I started last time there. So we're going to start with you, Mayor Pro Tem, and go right, and then go to you and go left.
Oh, thank you very much, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity. Today is the National Roller Coaster Day. So we just got back from vacation. My children love roller coasters. Another great thing for me to participate in as an aging adult. I don't need to anymore, but I will be, because they love them. And then our next Brews with Brian is coming up this month. It's at Lou's Diner. That's a hot spot for a lot of our law enforcement community and a lot of the great neighborhoods along Decatur in particular. And it's on the 31st at 8 a.m. Please let us know if you can make it. And great to see you. And feel free to reach out to me any way you like. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Boy, oh boy, that was less than a whole minute. Councilwoman Diaz, you're next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I hope everyone's having an awesome start to their school year. And I wanted to welcome my Cristo Rey St. Viator's student workers to the 7th floor for this school year. I'm thrilled that I get the pleasure to work with 4 amazing high school students yet again. This is my 3rd year that the Ward 3 team has the distinct honor of hosting 1 student from each grade level. So we have Brittany Mendoza, a 12th grader, Doris Claveria, 10th grader, Jose Murillo, 11th grader, and Juan Cifuentes, 9th grader. And so Jose Murillo, this is his 3rd year coming back. He can't get enough of City of Las Vegas, and this is Doris's 2nd year. So I hope that you guys can say hi, and I know that on some occasion you guys borrow them. So you're more than welcome to get their help whenever you need. We hosted some back-to-school fairs at Crestwood Elementary School and the East Las Vegas Community Center. So my office was thrilled to support 2 final back-to-school fairs in Ward 3. Thank you to all the community partners who helped distribute supplies and share resources at these 2 wonderful events. My office was proud to distribute over 3,000 school supply packs at various fairs this summer. Some of the supplies that we distributed at Crestwood Elementary were made possible by the generous donation from Coolsville Tattoos and by Mari Gonzalez, who hosted school supply drives at her various locations. I'd also like to thank Mr. Joshua Sturman from AAA Coin and Jewelry for donating hundreds, if not thousands, of notebooks that were distributed to our community. Wanted to let everyone know that there will be free personal Wi-Fi sign up at the library, and this is starting on August 18th. The Las Vegas Clark County Library District is helping bridge our community's internet access gap. And starting on August 18th, library patrons who qualify will be able to check out a free Cox Wi-Fi card for internet access through June 2024. So stop by East Las Vegas Library or the branch nearest you on or after August 18th to learn more and apply. We know that this is so important for our kids and our families. Want to again remind everyone to mark your calendar for the public information meeting regarding the Downtown Access Project. It's Tuesday, August 29th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Presentation starts at 5:30 at East Las Vegas Community Center on Eastern and Stewart, 250 Northeastern. There will be virtual meeting that is available to folks for 30 days. Also want to mention that on Friday, September 8th, Niwu Art invites the community to attend and view Hija, Hije, Hijo, Hijox de Su, an art exhibition and opening reception at the Niwu Art Gallery Community Center located at 1331 South Maryland Parkway. This is obviously being head-speared by Don Fuglis, my arts commissioner. And again, it's September 8th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the exhibition dates will be September 8th through December 7th. Gallery hours are Thursdays and Fridays, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, noon to 4. I hope if you're interested, swing by and support the art exhibitions. Also wanted to remind everyone that we want you to sign up. If you have a quinceañera coming up in your family, come on down and save the date and register to the city's 2nd annual Once Upon a Quince. Registration is open through September 10th via the QR code on your screen, so make sure you take a snapshot of it, or you can also email vacosta@lasvegasnevada.gov. You must be 14 to 16 years old and living in the city of Las Vegas, and candidates who win will be drawn at random. Just want to also put a plug out that YNAP 411. We're calling all youth who want to make a difference in their community to make sure that they know about YNAP. They can now apply for a scholarship for the Youth Neighborhood Association Partnership Program to receive up to $2,000 to create and implement an environment-based education service project. The application period opened August 14th and closes October 31st. So for more information, visit our website. Just put in there YNAP and you'll get all the information you need. We also want to let everyone know that it is down to business, as we spoke so much during this council meeting on the subject of economic development, but we're doing our own part here in our fabulous city of Las Vegas, and we have our business rewards program that was recently launched to help incentivize customers to shop locally, because when we shop in the city, we're supporting our city. So Open Rewards, offered in partnership with Blue Dot Technologies, Inc., allows shoppers to earn and redeem rewards on every purchase at participating local businesses within Las Vegas city limits. If you have a small business and meet the requirements below, please sign up to participate in the program. And actually, the eligibility requirements must be a food and beverage, hospitality, or retail business. The business must be located in City of Vegas. The business must be formed on or before December 1st, 2019, must be a small independently owned business, so no corporate chains, and just download the Open Rewards Shop Local app as residents and constituents and employees so that we can continue to support our small businesses. And that's it for me, Mayor. They can always stay in touch with me at the different handles, call my office, or email us at ward3@lasvegasnevada.gov.
Wonderful, thank you. And Councilwoman Polensky, are you with us still?
Yes, yes.
See?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And it's not one.
It's not. We're doing great here. On August 3rd, I had the opportunity of taking a tour of our Public Services Recycling Center. The center serves all of Southern Nevada, and I learned during the tour that the center can process an astonishing 70 tons of mixed recyclables an hour. That's 270,000 tons a year. Next slide. Big congratulations go out to our very own Lisa Morris-Ibler and Brian Scott on their retirements. We are so thankful for their dedicated service to the city and wish them all the best in the future. On Friday, August 4th, I hosted the annual Ward 4 Back to Splash school event at Durango Hills YMCA Pool. We had a great turnout, and families who attended had fun time playing games, winning raffle prizes, and cooling off. A special thanks to our council event staff for making it wonderful, and thanks to Cultivate and Republic Services for their generous donation of school supplies for all the kids. It was a big hit. The next slide highlights the faces and names of children who have gone missing in Nevada since October 2022. Please take a closer look. If you have any information, please contact Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Missing Persons Detail. The phone number is on the slide. In a moment of good news, just this past weekend, one of the teens featured on the Nevada Child Seeker website was located and reunited with his family. Yay. Child Seekers also offers free workshops to kids, tweens, teens, and parents, which focus on abduction prevention, internet and personal safety, bullying prevention, and so much more. If you're a Scout leader, a Girl Scout troop leader, a school administrator, and like to have Child Seekers come to your organization, please contact Heather on the email, via email or phone listed on the slide. Next up, last Thursday, I attended the Dignity Health groundbreaking ceremony for a local neighborhood hospital with Councilwoman Bruni. I'm thankful for quality healthcare resources that this new facility will provide to the residents of Ward 4 and their families. Next, this past Saturday, I attended the Summerlin Lions Club 25th anniversary dinner. I learned all about the great work that the Lions do in our community and throughout the world, and including the Lions Recycle for Sight program. This wonderful program collects prescription glasses and donates them to the visually impaired individuals around the world. It's estimated that 1.1 billion people on Earth have near vision impairment globally, simply because they don't have a pair of glasses. 89% of the people with visual impairment live in developing countries. So therefore, Ward 4 has started collecting old prescription glasses for this cause. If you're a city employee or someone who lives in Southern Nevada and would like to donate, please bring your used but in decent condition prescription glasses to here in the Ward 4 office on the 7th floor. We're going to put boxes around so that everyone can hopefully contribute. It's a great, great program, and the community members out there can also drop off donations to Walmart locations across the valley. Next, yesterday afternoon, we had a great kickoff to the La Madre Foothills Special Area Planning. Thanks to Peter, Seth, and the Smith Group for spearheading this great planning event where individuals representing a wide range of our community came together and shared ideas concerning what this area should look like in the future. Please scan our QR code or visit the link on the screen to complete a survey. We want to hear your input about what's important to you and what you'd like to see in this new developing area. Tomorrow, Councilwoman Bruni and I and a few members of our GA staff are going to be hosting a legislative town hall at Northwest Career Technical Academy at 5:30. We welcome the citizens to come out and hear about the bills which were passed during the last legislative session and how they impact our community and our families. This month, Ward 4 guests on Access include Nola Valdez, our Senior Outreach Manager for 3 Square, and Allison Jones, Principal at Sheila Tarr Academy. It's back to school time. We're talking about how 3 Square provides services to our community, especially seniors and children, and also community fundraising opportunities. Sheila Tarr Academy, which is located in Ward 4, is one of the most sought-after magnet schools in Clark County. Principal Jones will be sharing what her elementary school is accomplishing, what still needs to be done, and future projects, and how students can enroll in Sheila Tarr Academy. And lastly, please stay connected with myself and with my staff. We have social media handles listed, and you can always contact us directly on the phone at 702-229-2524. We are always here to provide assistance in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Mayor. Our Doolittle Community Center and Bolden Community Coalition will host a meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. in Doolittle. Residents are invited to participate and join in to speak to the captain and community service officers about matters concerning the neighborhood. For more information about the meetings, please contact Bolden Area Command at 702-828-8349. The 100 Plan in Action is hosting the Historic West Side to celebrate the Lovell and Jackson Block Party on Friday, September the 8th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. There will be food and refreshments, local entertainment, a bouncy house, face painters, and more. We're excited that this Complete Street program is finishing and revitalization efforts are coming to the neighborhood that once was a very bustling and thriving area and street. We used to call it Jackson Street growing up, but it's officially Jackson Avenue. For more information, please contact 702-229-6191. Then the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, a nonprofit, non-political women's service organization dedicated to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, and securing America's future through better education for children, will be hosting an event Saturday, September the 16th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Historic West Side School, located 330 West Washington Street. There will be games and a live Q&A session led by UNLV School of Law, games, prizes, and food. This is a free public event, and families are welcome. For more information, please call 702-423-9845. Join me and my staff for the next community conversation, which will be held on Thursday, September 28th, at the new Starbucks located at 6110 West Lake Mead Boulevard. That's right on the corner of Lake Mead and Jones. We welcome residents and businesses to join us for a cup of coffee to discuss matters important to you. For more information, contact my office, 702-229-5443. It's a really nice Starbucks as well. And that whole shopping center has been revitalized, and we thank them for that. Save the date for our upcoming annual Ward 5 Community Forum, which will take place on Thursday, October the 12th at City Hall. Registration link will be provided sometime soon. You can always contact my office. You can get our newsletter at Tanya, 702-229-5443, or you can always email Tanya at tjackson@lasvegasnevada.gov. You can always find us on social media. On Twitter, account Cedric Career, Instagram, Councilman Career, Facebook, Councilman Cedric Career. Happy back to school, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you. Councilwoman Seaman, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On August 7th, I toured Crossroads of Southern Nevada. This organization, along with so many others in Las Vegas, are doing amazing work to fight against substance abuse and mental health disorders. On August 8th, we had our much-anticipated human trafficking event. With Las Vegas ranking number 2 in the nation for human trafficking, it is important that we raise awareness in our communities. And I'd like to thank the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and their vice detectives, Awareness is Prevention, Power to Parent, and the Mirage Hotel and Casino for sharing their knowledge on this heinous crime. Also, I'd like to thank Bia Shiro for coming and sharing their victims of the human trafficking. Next, we have Nitro, a handsome male dog that is 2.5 years old, looking for a forever home. And next we have Tebow, a sweet female cat that is 7 years old and looking for a forever home. If you want to adopt either one of these, nitro or TiVo, or any other animal, hamster, turtle, rabbit, you can call the Nevada SPCA at 702-873-7722 or email them at info@nevadaspca.org. There are so many rescues right now that are bursting at the seams, so if you want to get a pet, please adopt. Next, we have if you own a small business and want to get the word out, be a part of our free promotional Small Business Saturday program. I will spotlight your company on my social media channels. You can just contact my office at 229-2420 or email us at ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov, and we will have a QR code on our last slide, so you can just capture that if you need to get a hold of my office. Next, we have our Breakfast Buzz and Ward 2 Biz, August 8th from 9 to 10 at Veterans Memorial Community Center. This event is a great time to share what neighborhood issues are essential to you. We highly encourage you to RSVP so we know how much food to order. And again, you can just RSVP at ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov. My favorite semi-annual event, I skipped through one, sorry. On September 11th, together with Ward 4, the 1013 Club will hold the 21st anniversary memorial for the victims of 9/11 attack on our country. The memorial will be at Police Memorial Park from 11 to 1, and for more information, you can just get in touch with our office. One of my favorite events, and we're calling all artists for it, September 30th from 10 to 4. We need, this is an opportunity for local artists to showcase and sell their art, so you can reserve a booth today. Space is limited, and there's a QR code right here on this flyer, or you can call my office to register to showcase your art. And then we're having a pet adoption fair Saturday, October 14th, so we just want to let people know right away so that they can put it on their calendar. If you want to contact my office about any of these events or issues, please call the main line at 702-229-2420, or again, you can scan the QR code for our social media, for our email, and our number. Or you can just follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Victoria D. Seaman. We are also now on Threads or LinkedIn at Victoria Seaman. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Are you on X?
Twitter is now X.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Madam Mayor, she is really with it. Yes, I'm sorry. We're going to have to change that little Twitter icon, Brian, to an X.
Love the name. Wow. Thank you. I do too. And Councilman Bruni, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to everyone who participated in today's meeting with your thoughtful contributions. Last week, Ward 6 gave back to our youth at Spring Mountain Youth Camp. Spring Mountain Youth Camp is a place for our young males ages 12 to 18 who have had some touch point with the juvenile justice system. With our donations from our Splash Back to School party and school supply drive, and a very generous donation from Core Construction and Mark Hobeka, we donated almost 80 filled backpacks to the youth at Spring Mountain Youth Camp. We also received a very generous donation from Spread the Word, who donated hundreds of books to replenish the library at Spring Mountain Youth Camp, and we're hoping that these resources will allow our young men to change the trajectory of their lives. On our latest Ward 6 Access City Council, which aired last Thursday, we featured our new city attorney, Jeff Dorkak, who's been with the city attorney's office since 2014. In this segment, we talked about Jeff's excellent vision for the city attorney's office, highlighted our city's specialty courts, public safety, and talked about how we hope to disperse our opioid settlement funds. Jeff was a great guest, so I'm sure we'll have him back again. It is with a very heavy heart that we announce the passing of one of our Ward 6 residents, Andreas Probst. On Monday morning, Andreas was riding his mountain bike about a mile from my home when he was struck by a car who fled the scene in the hit-and-run accident. This month, we are actually highlighting Traffic Awareness Month and public safety. Here are some resources the city offers for traffic safety, but I do want to take a moment to highlight and talk about our Vision Zero plan. Our Vision Zero plan has strategies like creating safe streets for all, implementing safe speeds, enhancing communication, and more to eliminate these kinds of traffic fatalities and serious injuries by 2050. As a city, we have sadly seen a steady rise of crashes due to distracted driving, high speeds, construction, and drivers not obeying our traffic laws. As a city and a community, we must do better. As we saw from the tragic accident this week in Ward 6, lives depend on this. Our August Bocaditos with Bruni is happening tomorrow. As always, we'll be at our satellite office at the Centennial Hills YMCA from 9 a.m. to noon. We'll have some special guests from our city's Department of Public Safety and Metro Northwest Area Command to answer any questions or help address any community concerns. The next slide, my colleague went over, so I'll move on. We're kicking off Movie in the Park season starting September 1st. We'll be watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at the Centennial Hills Park Amphitheater starting at 7 p.m. We're encouraging everyone who joins us to wear their favorite superhero costume for a chance to win a prize. Our movies in the park, as always, are free and open to the public. We offer free goodies, so make sure you're taking advantage of this free, family-friendly activity. Councilman Alan Polensky and I will be hosting our next Metro Public Safety Town Hall with Sheriff McMahill on September 12th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Metro Northwest Area Command Police Academy. The Police Academy on Cheyenne. This will be a great opportunity to hear how safety is shaping in the Northwest area of Las Vegas and speak directly to the law enforcement officers who are keeping us safe. Ward 6 business leaders and owners, please join us for our next small business breakfast on September 13th at the Centennial Hills YMCA. We'll be there from 8:30 to 10 to provide city resources, discuss local topics affecting business development, and share ideas about how to build a thriving and unified Northwest business community. We'll be joined by Andrew Woods, who leads the UNLV's CBER, who will be sharing data on the impact of our growing sports economy, as well as talking about workforce changes following the pandemic. Be sure to email us at ward6@lasvegasnevada.gov to RSVP. Finally, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or ideas. You can connect with us on any of our social media channels, including X. Please also connect with us on Nextdoor. Call us at 702-229-5463 or email ward6@lasvegasnevada.gov. Thank you.
Thank you. And so, concluding this, once again, I want us all to say our prayers and be so aware of what happened in Maui and in particular Lahaina. For those of us who have visited that beautiful community, it's gone. It is gone, going to have to be rebuilt. You have to realize how blessed we all are, that we live in a community that's gathered together as one people's, just in support of each other. And while we have our fire and rescue personnel over there, our sympathies, prayers, and everything we can do to help. There is no way you can replace a human life that means something to others. So our prayers are with them. I want to thank our technology, certainly most importantly our marshals and all our safety personnel. I want to welcome and say good job, our new city manager. We're delighted, and for your team here that's with us, thank you. I thought today was very meaningful, a lot of good discussion, and while I'm the only one elected at large, each one of these council persons is so devoted to their wards and their individual input that they get from you So please do contact your ward leaders and let them know that where you can help and be positive. Complaints we know come in most often, but if you have a solution, it's the idea is you're rich with solutions and help for us all. And our next council meeting, our clerk, who I want to thank, and clerk staff, absolutely, is the 6th of September. And we have Monday, Labor Day off, so we're ready for Bear. And wish you all a safe time, and do watch the traffic and do watch the crazy drivers are out there. It's just, but we all need to help. In everything we do, it always starts with the me. What am I doing? How can I help? So we're blessed to live in this wonderful community, and I can assure you everybody that works for this city loves it and wants to be a positive force. So please join us in that effort, and for those of you who have been that positive force, thank you very much. God bless you all, and have a great rest of the week. And this council is adjourned. Okie doke.